I seen someone outside with shorts and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, and
we don't know how to deal with snow.
we're live.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We're just all chit chatting away behind the scenes because we got a lot of the family back together tonight. Hope everyone is doing well. And this is Xbox Ultimate episode number 213. What a awesome week for Xbox, actually, to look ahead for the Dev Direct. We had a fun show on PM and the PM last night, and we got more speculation coming to you tonight as we have some of the family back together, including this man who's been a little bit missing lately for many of us. We miss the Shop podcast very much. So I was like, I wonder if PTK will come on the show tonight so we can kind of bring the Shop energy a little bit to the people that are missing it so much. And I'm super glad that PTK said, yeah, I'm free, and he's here. Part of the Fun Speculation family, obviously, as always. But PTK Blam, dude, thanks for being here tonight, man. How's it going?
I feel good. I feel like Tony at that cave in Iron Man 1, dusting off the eyes, got the new the gear and everything. But nah, man, I always love being here, and I appreciate you reaching out. Shout out to Chad, everybody, man. It's like riding a horse for me, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to be here on the show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. My family here, all my brothers here, man. It feels good, feels familiar. I needed this tonight. Actually, you didn't even know. That's why I hit you back, Mav.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
needed
it,
this
man.
tonight for sure. But yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff going on. I still been shadows. I still keep up with everything going on. Just not posting much on the socials, but I still follow everything. But yeah, I'm happy, bro. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Right on, man. I'm super happy that you're here, man, and everybody else too. It's gonna be fun. And then sliding on in, making a surprise XUP appearance. He's a regular on FSP these days, as well as his own show, Pixelated Echoes. But yeah, here on Xbox Ultimate, this is it's awesome. We're gonna have some fun tonight. What's up, 3-Bit?
Hey y'all, what's up? How's life? How are
Good.
things?
Pretty good.
He ruins
Too
the
much,
industry,
man.
and
That's
this is what he comes
overwhelming,
up
man.
with.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Jesus, man.
Oh no, it's been good, man. This week I've been going back and playing Indiana Jones. I've been I beat it, so now I'm just going back and seeing things I've missed. I've been busy at work. I've been sick for most of the holiday. So basically from
Karma, bitch.
yeah.
Karma.
Bug's mad because I canceled Transformers. It's okay.
Yes,
It's okay.
yeah.
But no, it's been a good break for everybody. I miss podcasting with everybody. So I've been trying to get back in the podcasting game a little bit, and there's some good news and stuff today, and also I'm sure Mav has some rants. So we'll see.
Man,
see what's going on.
people
But
be
good to see you,
acting
buddy.
fucking crazy. I just gotta tell you, people are acting fucking crazy, man. We'll get into that later. But thanks for being here, 3-Bit. Hey,
Yep.
Fuzzy Belvedere, the smooth one, always here hanging out. What's up, Fuzz? How's it going?
Not much. Glad to be here with you guys. Glad we got PTK here tonight. Always love doing podcasts with him. Always love doing podcasts with all you guys, man. This is a great time to be an Xbox fan or just a gaming fan in general. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about because 2025 is going to be that year where your backlog is just going to crush you if you don't take care of it. So
Take care of it. Take care of your backlog.
Yep.
That's
Finish
like
it before it gets too crazy.
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, never. Sorry, Fuzz.
Yeah, I could try, but I ain't gonna make a dent. I'll tell you that. And then coming off the heels of an excellent show last night, PM in the PM with the one and only Pong Soul. Last night he had the captain's chair as usual on Thursdays, but tonight he's here just joining the crowd here with the Fun Spec Fan. What's up, Pong?
Beautiful Friday right here, man. Got the Shop podcast back together. It has been a minute. Love, obviously, hearing from PTK, man. It's been too long. And of course, the man who's destroyed this entire industry and killed dreams left and right, the one and only 3-Bit, actually with the big giant kahunas to come through and show up tonight and show off his face. But love to have him here too as well. Always great to have a chance to talk to him. So yeah, no, it's great to be back here on a Friday night. Fuzzy's got me spending money I don't have in the background. I just secured a actual official Atari Pong hat that has Bluetooth speakers in it. That's on sale for 75%, and they only had 60 of them left when I logged in. So thanks, Fuzz. You got me spending money that I shouldn't be spending, but I did post it that I secured it and thanked you. Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about tonight, brother. After last night, I thought we were going to be pretty well done. Obviously, new voices talking about speculation about the dev direct and all that kind of stuff. And lo and behold, today, the good old rumor fires start up yet again. The whole slate, everybody. We got Steel Rain priming the fire out here. He's tweeting everybody saying, bring it on. I'm going to crush you all in Halo. To let the toxic Gears of War multiplayer return. Can't wait to see you all in there. It's going to be a good night. Plus, we got the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 previews today, and they are looking phenomenal. This game is going to be something special. So anyways, I'm fired up. Let's get down to business. Speculation Town is open, everybody. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo.
Yes. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo. And we are... I mean, I don't even know where to get started on this, because, I mean, we're going to go deep into Speculation Town on the Dev Direct here later in the show. But it's weird on the day after an Xbox major announcement. Just happens to be, I don't know if this is just if this is just by chance, but it seems like almost every time, especially in the last couple of years, after the day after a major Xbox announcement, there is more Xbox rumors that start swirling around like wildfire about how the world is falling apart. Now I will
good stuff too, though.
Yes.
Good stuff too. Coming back.
100%. I will give credit to Nate the Hate, who was the source of a lot of this. Again, much like last January, if we go back a year, I think a lot of this started with Nate the Hate then as well. But with this, I mean, he wasn't really, I gotta say, it's not like he was talking negative about any of this stuff. I actually kind of went and listened to that some of the episode where a lot of this came from. He had Rand on as a guest, and they were speculating a lot and kind of talked about some of the things that they had heard or whatever that could be happening this year regarding Xbox games going in other places. But that is what has caused a shit show again on social media and caused some people to be acting a little crazy, I gotta say. I don't know. It's like, have we not learned by now what's happening? Have we not kind of come to terms a little bit with the fact that we are consumers who are making decisions based on where we want to play and do all these things, right? But the train is moving. And they're moving in a direction that, we don't really have any control over. So you can be mad about it. You can be bitter about it. You can be upset about it. Or you can also just focus on what you got to play and all these awesome games coming, which there's a lot of awesome news there as well. So for me, I kind of look at all this rumors and stuff going on, and I'll say, cool, when they announce those things, that's awesome for those people. And I'll continue playing my games how I do now, which is on my PC and on my Xbox and in the cloud, which is only available on the Xbox ecosystem. So, and I already have a lot of these games that were rumored as well, so it doesn't really impact me whatsoever. But there was multiple rumors, so we'll get into a couple of them. First off, as Pong said, hey, whole slate. Yeah, this is something that I think a lot of people had been speculating on about certain franchises. Remember, as Phil said, no red lines, right? What does that mean? That means that anything's up for possibility. In my eyes, that means no franchise is off the table. And a couple of franchises that are near and dear to many Xbox gamers' hearts about what makes Xbox is now rumored to be going to PlayStation and the Switch, which we've already been speculating somewhat about as well.
Yes, sir.
Because
We knew they were going to start printing money over there, brother. Oh, yeah.
Which includes Halo the Master Chief Collection. So I think just to start things off, I mean, that's kind of like the big one, right? I mean, Halo, seeing it, if this happens, right? If this happens, if Halo Master Chief Collection goes to the Switch 2, if it goes to PlayStation 5, does it impact you, or how do you feel about going forward with your Xbox library, playing on the Xbox ecosystem? Does it take anything away from you? Does this matter? Do you think it's a mistake? I want to start with PTK because we haven't heard his voice in a while, man. So, hold on real quick though. Psycho slid in. Yeah. I just now noticed.
Oh yeah, I slid in on the back end.
What's up, dude?
Oh,
hey, what's up, everybody?
Brother.
Yeah.
He's always sliding in the back end. That's his preferred method.
That's how my neighbor likes it. She loves it.
Oh my god. What's up, Psycho? How's it going?
I'm doing great. Great to be here. It's been a long time. New year, new me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, obviously not. Yeah, obviously not. Good to see you, man. I haven't heard your voice in a while.
Oh yeah. It's just been crazy at work, and can't wait to get into these fucking topics because there's a lot to be fucking talked about tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get started with PTK, man. Same question I just asked. How you feel about all this with the rumor mill swirling around about Halo and Gears and all these other things now going to other platforms?
I mean, I've always said, just to keep it like, you guys generally know where I stand on this. I've always said, like, the end all be all for me is that, until Xbox officially says we're not making anymore, I'll probably always play on one. So just to answer your question, like, it's not going to change my. These things tend to be this way. Like, this happened, you said it earlier, Mav. We've heard of all of these changes. Last year was just a couple over, and absolutely nothing changed for me. Like, nothing changed at all for me personally. I played the same games the same way, bought them the same way, was able to access them the same way, played with the same people. Literally nothing. Since I understand because it's Halo, it's Master Chief, it's near and dear to a lot of Xbox fans' heart. It's near and dear to mine. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not so staunch. This is something that's gonna bother me. I'm not gonna make it as big of a deal as I see some people making it online. It's ironic too, the Master Chief thing, because I low key I've always wanted him to be in like Smash Bros. So yeah. So I mean, I get it. On one hand, it's like, I get it. It's near and dear. I've had ideas of him being in other, on other places and other platforms and things like that too, that I thought would be cool, like collabs and things like that. So I'm not opposed to those ideas. And Switch 2 is gonna be all understand that. You know what I mean? So it's probably gonna. I don't know what you guys think about that, but it outpace the first Switch depending on the specs and pricing and things like that, but it's primed to do extremely well, especially if all the third-party stuff is going to hit, because that's which the first Switch lacked. It didn't have as much third-party support. So if this one is able to do that, Xbox I get it. I understand the frustration from some fans, but me personally, absolutely nothing is changing for me. Oh, by the way, I do want to let you guys know, me and my wife are getting a PC as well, both of us.
Oh,
So,
nice, man.
Nice.
so yeah, I see you Pong with that smile over there. Yeah, you guys
Let's go,
converted
brother.
me,
Let's
man.
go.
But so I'm prepared for these things too. That's another reason I'm kind of just like chillax on all of this as of right now, because I know that's coming, and so I'm not really worried about games being accessible on Nintendo or Xbox games. I'm going over there at all, so I'm fine with all of this, Mav. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that. I see all of the issues online, people arguing about it, but I don't really have, a whole lot of qualms about it, brother. I'm happy, on Xbox. Like I said, as long as they continue to make a console or something that I can play Xbox games on, and doing it, I'm probably always going to be in that ecosystem, man. So me not getting to play Master Chief Collection, which is at this point, like, I don't even know. That was an Xbox One game, right? That came out Xbox One generation.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not.
think the newest ones that were rumored were like I think it was a Age of Mythology,
Mhm.
maybe was rumored, and I think also Flight Sim 2024 was rumored
Yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
So those would be like the newer ones, which I don't know how many people would say, "Oh yeah, those are system
Yeah.
sellers for Xbox."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Flight Sim almost makes sense though, right? Like that type of game almost makes sense to be played everywhere. It's I don't know. Those specific games, I don't. Those make sense going everywhere. I don't have an issue with that. Games are those aren't selling 10, 12 million copies out the gate. So why not put them all over the place? I don't really have an issue with those games specifically.
yeah, right on, man. Good thoughts, BTK. I kind of agree with you. Here's the thing. I can make an argument business wise, right? Again,
Yeah.
and I think we all can. I think most of us here are kind of in the same boat where we would be like, hey, business wise, we think maybe it's not the best decision as far as if you are focusing on console sales, right? But like, as far as us as gamers, like impacting us in a negative way or
Yeah.
whatever, it's not really something that a lot of us
Well,
care about.
the other thing too, Mav, is just to throw it in here before you move on, is that there's shit. There was almost such other good stuff going on, like for Xbox. Like, we got this direct coming up, so many games coming out in 2025 for everybody to be able to enjoy. Like I'm not finna get lost in the sauce over a couple games when we have all this the other positive, news coming out. There's so much.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Pong, you said it last year, bro. 2025 is probably gonna be better than last year. And it's all to be that way. I don't have no what am I like worried about? There's more games to play now than ever. You know what I mean? And I'm not like upset about a few games, a handful of Xbox games going over to PlayStation or anything for me. I can still buy them. I can still play them. The way I enjoy playing them. So I don't really have any issues with that.
Yeah, right on, man. About you, Fuzz? What you feeling
Mhm.
today with the new rumors that are almost the same as last year's rumors?
It it's like without fail when news is slow on the other platform. Hey, let's stir up some other stuff. It's like that's fine. Like they still have to pay $70 or 30 or whatever the price is going to be, as opposed to just having it in Game Pass.
Hmm.
I got Game Pass through Microsoft Rewards, so no sweat off my back, no money out of my pocket. Games are still downloadable and playable on my preferred platform. So it's a big whoop at this point to me. I was probably more upset way back when it came to Hi-Fi Rush, just for the fact, oh, it's a new IP and you're already taking a new IP and put it over there. But we all see how that worked out, and at least the studio is continuing on under crafting. But all things aside, there's like PTK said, there's the Dev Direct right around the corner. There's the June showcase that'll fill out the rest of the year. We know of at least 7 titles that are more than likely going to drop on an Xbox this year, and that's without any other surprises being brought up. So kudos to those that get to enjoy it on other platforms. We'll see how what they used to say. Oh well, Xbox games aren't quality. Xbox games aren't this and that, and
Then, oh my
see
God,
how
we're getting
much
Xbox games?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, well, now they're thirsty. It's like,
Oh.
okay, so they're still going to have to log into their live account if they want trophies or their progress to continue. Hey, free saves without having to have a subscription. That's going to be maybe. I guess the big thing is, in a weird way, this will be a good thing because this will give them ammo against Sony when it comes to saying, hey, why are we paying for our cloud saves when these guys don't charge for cloud saves? Like, maybe they can look at things like that, or look at Sony and it's like, hey, where's the roadmap other than these 3 movies you announced, kind of deal. But I have no problems with it. I even joked about it last year. It's like, if anything, put Forza Horizon 5 over there for the fact that it's probably the best arcade racer that they'll ever play. We already got 43 million players between PC and Xbox, so what's another 5 or 10 million that we can get from over there? But we'll see. But it doesn't affect me. I can't get mad at what Xbox is doing until they either stop making hardware or stop making games. Doesn't look like they're going to stop making games or hardware anytime soon. So
yeah, that's a key point there, Fuzz, because like as people are getting mad at them for this, but they're making more games than anybody else.
Yeah.
By far. And which, if it matters most, and it's the games that matter the most, and you have this pipeline of like just game after game after game, which people can't say, oh, they just make shit games now. Well, how many Game of the Year awards is Indiana Jones nominated for now? That the ones that count, the ones that are actually counting all the games for the year, right?
And people completely blew that game off, and it was another just licensed IP, and it was just going to fall by the wayside. A lot of people did not believe in that game. We did, but a lot of other people were really cold on that game. Like, it'll probably be okay. It's not going to resonate with the younger generation. Nobody's going to like it. Who's indie? So 75 for, you know what I mean? Like, but like you said, it actually was a fantastic game, and so
amazing game, absolutely fucking amazing game. 3-bit, how you feeling? Does this news today affect you whatsoever, or?
I mean, not really. I'm with PTK here in a lot of his points. I'm a fan of Xbox's overall ecosystem. Like, I'm a fan of their first party content. I love Halo. Like, it's Halo always means so much to me in terms of what it brought to me community wise and my career and stuff like that. And hey, maybe Halo going to other platforms means their toxic kind of fan base kind of dies, and all of a sudden people see how great it is, like the PS ports tend to do when it goes to other platforms. Like there's like a backlash coming. I feel like it's coming from this sort of old guard in a way of what the console war is, and wanting Xbox to compete in the classic way. But to me, I feel like there's still a ton of value within the Xbox ecosystem with Game Pass. Like Gears and Halo kind of going to other platforms can give I guess cadence to those franchises, like meaning more funding can maybe go towards Halo, meaning more Halo games could maybe come in the future, going on the Switch, going to PlayStation. I know Steel always talks about Gears multiplayer, people playing on the Switch and how he's gonna wreck those people when it goes to PlayStation and stuff. So it could have an interesting ripple effect. But people who are super comfortable in their ecosystem will most likely stay there. So I think Xbox is trying to get people who will never really leave their ecosystem, but maybe was interested in those franchises. And I think business-wise, it could be kind of argued that it's a bad move decreasing like your exclusive content. But I mean, to me, that just means like you have to really incentivize people with their ecosystem being Game Pass. Like they have to show the contrast that you pay $70 on these other platforms, but on our platform you can get these for like a subscription cost on Game Pass. So like once they announce the 3 games in the past, I pretty much already kind of envision going forward that they are behemoth now, and the determining metric for like success for a lot of the media and fans arguing on Twitter is usually console sales, right? That is like, oh, well, what's going to happen to their console sales and things like that. Um, Meanwhile, you have like shareholders and everyone else like, hey, software is where it's at. Like it's really the Trojan horse in a lot of ways. When you're looking at the top selling games on PlayStation are not first party titles most of the time. It's usually
Call of
Minecraft,
Duty.
Fortnite, things like that. So like in terms of like fan warness, you could be like, oh, but I got Last of Us, I got my Horizon and stuff. But if you are looking at what is actually selling, it is not Sony's first party titles that are in the top sales on Sony platforms. Like
Not
it may
even
have a
the
good week.
top played.
Yep.
The top
And I
top
think
15 played either, so like it's actually like 3 or 4 usually that are Microsoft games in the top played on every week on PlayStation platform.
yeah, and I think that's where the conversation is kind of getting lost because a lot of people get in their feels about like Halo or something going to another platform, like in terms of the fandom. That part of the conversation, like Halo on PlayStation, like how dare you, Phil? And but when you're looking at the sales, at least it makes sense that these are going to other platforms. Do I want them to do this? No, I don't want Xbox to do that. But in the end, I'm just talking about like business wise. It makes sense that they are trying to get people that don't want to invest in the Xbox ecosystem. They're just stuck to their platform. They're stuck on the Switch. They're stuck on Sony. Those are kind of the people it seems like they're going for. Um, and Xbox is they are leaving the old way of just console sales, I think. So it's gonna hurt a lot of people's feels. A lot of people who love how things are done past like my exclusive games versus your exclusive games. But I think there are some benefits to that as well. So we'll just I mean they're not gonna stop. So it's just a matter of like what do you prefer?
Yep.
What is valuable to you as a gamer? And to me personally, like Xbox offers by far the best ecosystem. Like I love Game Pass, I love the deals, I love the cloud, all the different stuff within the ecosystem is what I love, and that's what a lot of companies are going to bank on in the future is ecosystem wars. I've been saying this on other shows, like it's not going to be console wars anymore. It's going to be like my ecosystem versus your ecosystem because that's where a lot of platforms are moving forward with anyways. So those are my general thoughts on everything.
Right on, man. I love it. Psycho. Let's get your thoughts on
Yes,
the
sir.
new rumors today. We got Halo Master Chief Collection, Gears. I was a little confused on a little bit. Can somebody clarify? Because they said like Gears 1.
It's the Ultimate collection, I
So
believe it is.
so it's the older like updated collection that came out on the Xbox One.
Yeah, but Nate
Yes.
also did say that he thinks that the Phoenix collection is there too. I think he said that.
Right.
So it is a little strange because he is still believing that there's a chance E-Day comes out this year as well. So yeah, there's some confusion there because what do you do with the multiplayer? That'd be my
Right.
biggest question. You can't throw all you can't if E-Day has a multiplayer, which I'm going to assume it does. It'd be crazy if they decided not to do it. But if you throw the old ones out there, or even just one out there, and fire back up the multiplayer, and then you throw E-Day out there on top of it, you split the base on the multiplayer. So they got to figure that out. If they go to a hub system where you can kind of have, like Jez was suggesting today on Xbox 2, that would make more sense. But yeah, they got to be careful with that launch. That's why this seems a little weird to me about how this is all going to go down. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's what I was listening to today on Xbox 2 and thinking about. So because we've discussed this plenty. If the Marcus Phoenix was real, do they launch it before or after E-Day? Right? Obviously, Steele's always said after. I've said before. I think Mav, you were on before as well, just to get get everybody up to speed on Gears, get everybody hyped up again.
Mhm.
So this is going to be an interesting thing if this is real, for sure.
Well,
But
it's
right now, I
also
think Nate said one is for sure.
potentially
coming.
awesome for us as Xbox gamers too, as like, you know what I mean? That's the other side of this that's kind of lost in the sauce a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like more Gears potentially this year. Like,
It's not, yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously.
yeah,
It's not really lost to the, I mean, most of us are licking our chops at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
because it's like, yeah, because if you bring the hype levels back up, plus I got the Netflix show at some point here, 2 different shows supposedly. And you start raising the Gears hype again, yeah, man, bring it. You know my love for Gears. Like, this is going to be
Mhm.
massive if they bring this back and introduce new audiences on both the Switch and the PlayStation. Like, this is going to be a second coming of Gears potentially, which I'm all for. Again, screw the whiny kids. Let's just keep doing this. Let's get everybody used to the old crew, the dude bro shooter, and let's get back to the classic ways of Gears. And yeah, no, this is gonna be fantastic. Sorry, I didn't mean to take over here.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man. So what's your feeling, Psycho?
Oh, fantastic. I get to teabag more noobs and chainsaw and shoddy some idiots that, run their mouth on Twitter and don't play games. And it's great fodder for, my KD in Gears of War. So bring it. I can't wait. I love it. It's, to me, as a consumer, zero, it does not do anything to me. Now, does it hurt the brand? Who knows? We'll see down the road. But that's an Xbox problem, not my problem.
Yeah.
My problem is, do I still get Game Pass and all their games and third party? That's all I care about. That's what anyone cares about. The only people that really care about, a lot of this stuff that's coming to, Xbox games going to PlayStation, a lot of it, we got the PlayStation side eating it up because that gives them more content to shit on Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, the
with.
console warrior on that side just loves it, right? And I think that
They-
makes the console
yes.
warrior on the Xbox side hate it because the console warrior on the PlayStation side's all happy.
Yeah.
See, we're getting your games now, so it's like, oh, fuck you, man. I
But
don't want
then-
you to have my games.
When PlayStation starts seeing how well it's doing on PlayStation, they're gonna be like, I know there's about 30 to 50 million Xbox gamers out there. So why don't we put our games on Xbox just to get some of them? Because even if they get 5 million people buying their games, that's as much as what people on PlayStation that has 50 million, 60 million consoles. So if they get about the same, then you're gonna see a lot more games coming to Xbox, just like PC. PC will be day and date, then Xbox will be, a year exclusive. And if Xbox does that, maybe 6 months exclusivity or a year, depending, so if they give them Gears 1, the new Gears E-Day, it's exclusive to the console for 6 months to a year. It's going to get some people like, you know what? I don't know if I want to wait. I had a great time when I was playing that Gears collection there when Xbox released it, and or the next Halo. Hey, I had a great time. I don't want to wait, and let me get over there. And you'll see people either picking up a Series S just to play these games, low barrier entryway for consoles. And if they have a Samsung TV, then it's really fucking just a subscription cost. So to Xbox,
Well, LG TVs soon too.
and
right?
LG now. So yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like Xbox wants to grow their subscription base and not their console base, because at the end of the day, consoles don't make them their money. It's the subscriptions and it's the revenue that they get from the battle passes and everything else. That's what's making Xbox money. And they get more people involved, it's going to give Xbox more revenue to make more IP to pump out. I mean, if they still acquire other studios down the road, they're just a juggernaut for IP, and really they'll be one of the biggest game makers out there and they're
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
close right now.
They already. I mean, there's arguably already are. Like I don't.
10 cent maybe.
Is there any other publisher that we can think of that's putting out as much content in 2025? Even
Outside
third
of-
parties, like if you even considered like Take Two
Bef-
or
Well, before
EA, yeah, Take Two maybe because they have the kind of the annual releases. You know, they got like
Yeah,
WWE,
but-
they got NBA.
2K,
You know,
you got Bandai, you got the smaller like RPG studios that put out a lot of content. But it just depends. It's before what's that studio or that publisher? He made a deal with the Saudis and it fucking fell through, and now he's like
Embracer Group.
Embracer
Yeah.
Group.
Yeah,
They were one of the biggest groups until that happened, and then they kind of
Right, because they were more of a held lots of different publishers under their umbrella
Correct.
until they
yeah.
so, shit the bed.
but
yeah.
with that being said, again, so seeing where Xbox is going, they're doing Xbox and kind of doesn't do something without having a plan or knowing, especially being backed by Microsoft. Microsoft's not going to let them go under or go make bad decisions because they are a $3 trillion company,
Yeah.
$3 trillion company. They're going to make their best, try to make the best interest. Now, gaming's a little bit different than, fucking Office 365. But at the end of the day, right now, I think Xbox is making more than Windows. So, they're on the right foot and they're on the trajectory of putting out really great stuff. And fuck, this year we already got, 6 games and
Well, I think we're anticipating part of what Rand and Nate the Hate were talking about is the potential for there being 10 first-party Xbox games this year. Which, and they ran through them, which is just crazy, right? And that's on top of everything you're getting from third-party and Game Pass day to day. But yeah, good points, Psycho. Yeah, it's interesting to think what the future holds. None of us really know, right? But we do know we're getting a shit ton of games, and a lot of them look awesome. And they're revealing more games and showcasing more games also than anybody else. Which we have the Dev Direct coming up. Pong, what'd you make of the new stuff today? It's interesting seeing specific things mentioned, right? That we've already talked about now. People thought that certain franchises would never go. Now that this hasn't happened yet, obviously, so who knows if the rumors are true? But there's no reason to think they're not. Also, especially on some of the older games, right? But hey, how you feeling? Are you mad? Are you angry? Are you going to you gonna throw salt in everybody's wounds? And how you feeling, man?
You all are Microsoft corporate shills. You all are a bunch of bootlickers.
Where's my check?
Capping for a $3 trillion company. This is why you guys don't get good games. This is why the console is dead. Because of gamers like you who just put up with anything that they do.
I think
man.
I saw you. Did you have a different handle on Twitter a little while ago? Because I could have swore I seen you make a million posts using those same lines.
I host some other shows too.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. No, man. Like this is nuts. There's obviously the big contingent of us, especially I think a group of some of the older the gamer, that do have, again, if it was up to us, I heard Rand and Jez talking about it again today too, and Rand and I are like side by side when it comes to our feelings on Microsoft and what they've decided to do with Xbox, right? And how they've gone about this. And again, if it was our decision, it'd be a different decision. Like we would be handling this differently and we would have tried to battle one for one. I've said it 1,000 times now. But like Rand said, and like we've said here 1 billion times over and over again, Microsoft don't give a fuck about your feelings. This is business, and they aren't going to change the business model. Now that they've decided to move in this direction, it is what it is. That's why once we got the initial reaction to the first set of games, the 4 games. Mav, I think we were some of the first shows out the gate from that time forward saying, it ain't going to be just be 4, guys. Come. It's not just 4. Okay. This is going to be an ongoing thing no matter what they say. So all of this is falling in line. We've all, I think for the most part, most of us have agreed. Maybe Psychonauts fought against us a little bit, but have said that Halo and Gears is, yeah, it's a done deal, bro. It's a done deal, man. There's also word, I don't know if you mentioned it, Mav. I apologize if I missed you saying it or if anybody else did, but Forza Horizon 5 supposedly going over too.
Which that one I don't care, but for me that one is just the
Weird
only
because of the licensing.
But yeah, the only thing is like, okay,
Right.
why do it at this stage? Why not just wait for Forza Horizon 6?
Because you still get some more sales and you get
Right.
everybody on board so that when 6 comes, then everybody's just locked in. Once they've tasted Forza Horizon, we know there's no going back.
But do you think this extends the licensing if they do
It's
that?
possible that they've done that too, because remember Phil talked about working that out, right? He has talked about that being an issue and talked about working that. So maybe they did, right? Maybe they've done that on purpose. So again, Xbox has been dead and buried 3,896 times now. This is 3,897 today. This is Xbox now. This is what they're going to do. Would it be fantastic if we had an absolute layout and Phil went down a whole checklist of every single fucking game and said, this one's gone, this one's not, this one's gone, this one's not? Of course it would. It'd be fantastic. Would it cut down on a lot of the conversation? Yeah, it probably would. But that's not going to happen either because of all the things that we discussed. It just doesn't make any sense because I'm sure that there's a lot of internal discussions because it's not going to be a predetermined release schedule for every single game. Some games, absolutely, of course. But other games, they might hold 6 months. They might hold a year. They might decide internally one day that it's going to be a year. And then 6 months in, they go, it's ready to rock and roll. Let's just launch it over the PlayStation 5. The sales are dipping. This is going to be the new thing going forward. It is, as everybody has said here, from a gamer standpoint, as long as I can access my Xbox video games at some place and time, and they're trying to open that up to even more places, and they're trying to give us an all-inclusive Xbox anywhere where any game I've purchased could be played on any device. If that is what they are going for, and I can still access that library, it is what it is, man. And Game Pass still lives. And for me, the greatest deal in gaming ever
Easy.
in history continues to roll on. So if they've decided that this is the way they're going to make their money, I'm all for it. We've talked about it a billion times when it comes to the multiplayer games, Halo, Gears. Listen, this isn't the heyday anymore, folks. I don't know how to tell you this, man. We all wish that it was still the heyday of Gears and Halo back in the 360 era, and that's what everybody waited for. It's not that anymore, man. That time.
Yeah, you can say that for Battlefield or Call of Duty. You can say that for
Call
all
of Duty's
Call of Duty's kind of
Call of Duty's
yeah.
That's the one bulletproof game. But
yeah,
no, I'm just saying that it's not the heyday anymore, folks. So a multiplayer game in 2025 and into the future, it just gets harder and harder and harder to succeed because of all the competition that's out there for everybody, on top of the fact that you got black hole games that have absorbed a large portion of the multiplayer base permanently almost, because that's all the people play. The Fortnites, the Call of Duties. It was Apex. Now Apex is on the down. But you got Overwatch. But now the Overwatch is switched over to Marvel Rivals. But you've got those black hole games that suck up everything. Helldivers 2 is back, doing pretty well for itself. That's the exception, not the rule when a new IP comes out and tries to succeed. So again, Halo and Gears, love them. They are Xbox, right? What is Xbox? Does Xbox lose a part of itself by going this right? I agree with Rand. I agree with Jez. I agree with everybody here that we've all talked about this. Yes, I do think that. That's why I wouldn't do it this way. But Xbox does not cease to exist. So if you want to bring these franchises that we all love, for me, it's Gears, and you want to have a chance at bringing that back and getting more Gears on top of it, but resurrecting the multiplayer to some degree, then you open it up to as many people as possible. That's why when we talked about this, when I said They're bringing Halo, they're bringing Gears for these reasons. I have zero issue with it. Like Steel said, Steel's been lit up all over the place saying, bring it on. I'm bringing the toxic Gears back. Let's go. You noobs, come on in, man. It's going to be like Christmas Day used to be with Call of Duty when all the kids jumped on. It's going to be a blast, man. So I want to see those resurrections to happen. I want to see Xbox continue to invest in those franchises. I want to see them bring back old franchises. And if this gets us all of that, no, there's no guarantee, but damn it, I pretty much think that that's what they're doing here. Then so be it. This is the choice they've made. And like Fuzzy said, as long as they continue to make hardware, I'll be there. Said it from, again, all the time that we talked about this. They come with this hybrid thing. I'm in. I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
Game Pass. As long as Game Pass is going, I'm locked in until the wheels fall off, because no other ecosystem, no other publisher is giving me the amount of games that I personally enjoy and like to play, or anywhere's near what Xbox is currently doing. They have some of my favorite developers underneath their umbrella, and some of my favorite developers are getting to grow and become even better. And I'm excited to see what they got down in the future. Clockwork Revolution from InXile's first big AAA, first-person game, RPG. Some of my favorite writers in InXile. God, I can't wait to see what they do. This is what Xbox is doing with that money. And again, if it means that they have to go elsewhere to other platforms, so be it. Bring it on. They've made the decision. They aren't going back. No matter what we say out here, no matter how much we say it's a wrong idea, it doesn't matter at this point. It's gone. That ship has sailed. So now, as the gamer, I'm just riding this baby out, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it, because this is the first year, as we've been talking about, Mav, as you just reiterated, that Jez and Rand talked about today, and Nate the Hate brought when they had their discussion. This is the first year we are getting the full-fledged treatment of Xbox and what we talked about for years as they were acquiring all these studios.
24 was just a small taste.
That's just right, PTK. This is what we've been waiting for, the avalanche of games. I don't care if it's 6, I don't care if it's 8, I don't care if it's 10. That is ridiculous amounts of games. The second half of last year, ridiculous. That's what we all thought we were going to get from Xbox, and now we're getting it. So bring it on, baby.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yes, sir.
I feel like, okay, so if I look at it this way, it's like a simple way to think about it, right? And I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong, but okay, Xbox makes all these acquisitions. They have all these studios. They have all these games now. They have all of this responsibility for all these developers and all these games to deliver the games to the gamers, right? And on the other hand, they have the hardware, okay? Okay, so we make these exclusive. We're going to maybe raise this a little bit, right? How much is it going to grow? That's a question that they have, okay? What's healthier for the hardware is if you make these all belong to this, right? And you kind of raise it up and you get the most out of it, and you prop the value position of the hardware, okay? But on the other side, what happens to this? What happens to the games? What happens to all these developers, all these studios, all these publishers that you've acquired that are making the games for this exclusive, smaller ecosystem, right? That's going to grow some. How much? On the other hand, okay, are we content that we're not going to grow as much as we hoped, or maybe even lose some? But we have all these games and publishers and developers over here. Now, if we put them all these other places, maybe it makes all of these games and publishers and franchises that we're investing in more secure, and gives us a better chance to keep delivering games in the future, and the whole business potentially even healthier, right?
You know what's funny,
and
man?
I think that's the way they're thinking, right? I don't know for sure if it's right or not, but I think that's the way they're thinking, you know? Go ahead.
You know what's funny, Mav? Is that we've seen both models. We've seen PlayStation sell 20 million copies of their first-party games every time they come out. Last of Us, Horizon, all these games, Spider-Man, sell 15, 20 million copies. And then Herman Holst and Jim come out and say, that's not enough. That's great, but it's not enough.
Oh yeah, they're
So
going to
we've
PC.
seen
Yeah.
both models, so it's not like people don't have an example. We understand, but that model doesn't even work anymore either.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation, they're not even rolling with that particular model. They're starting to spread their wings, put things on PC day and date. You know what I mean? Embrace the PC market. So, like, we've seen both models. So I understand people's frustration, but it's not like things just have to change at some point. Like, PlayStation's like, look, we love the 20 million games. Like, we love that, like, first month, but that's not enough for us. Like, that's not going to sustain us into the, future, and that's not really growing our brand. Like, is God of War any bigger than it was 2 years ago? 3 years ago? No. Like, I don't really see any, you know what I mean? So, like, what are we doing? Like, you have to figure out what's best for your games, what's best for your ecosystem. Microsoft, they're leaning into their strengths. I'm not saying that, like, everybody's gonna agree with it. I agree with you, Pong. Like, if I was in charge, I'd probably do things a little different.
I'd be
Very
Dark
much like
Phil.
you.
I said it
Yeah.
multiple times. Yeah.
Exactly. But I do understand that they've always been pushing this way. And Game Pass was obviously that first domino to fall. And that's one thing that we've all highlighted here that nobody else can offer. It's just it's crazy, man. I don't understand why people act like we haven't seen, like, we haven't done that traditional model for forever now. Like, you guys understand that, like, at some point we have to evolve, things have to change, so everybody's changing. Switch 2, Nintendo's understanding that they need more power. They need a more powerful, console to be able to compete. Yeah, we can sell 150 million Switches, but we're not getting any third-party game. So we got to do something different. We got to bump our hardware up to be able to compete, be able to get some of those third-party games like Sony, just like Xbox as well. So everybody's doing a little something different this time around. So I don't want that to get lost in the sauce either. Sony now is not the same. PlayStation now is not the same PlayStation of old either.
If the rumors are all true about what we're getting for next gen Xbox hardware, it might not even matter what PlayStation decides to make exclusive anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because if they're putting their games on PC, well, at the end of the day, if you have access to Steam on the back end on a console, then you have an option to be able to potentially play their games too, right? So that's a hypothetical thing that we don't know. This time's got to tell. But I got to say this, and Pong, you touched on this when you were doing your fake Twitter shout outs when you started talking.
Yeah.
I just made a post like saying, "Hey, cool. I already have all those games in Game Pass. I hope the new player, if it happens, I hope the new players enjoy it." Right?
Yep.
Exactly what I feel. Right? I hope that the new players, if they end up getting Halo for the first time, right? I hope they fucking fall in love with it because it's one of my favorite franchises ever. If you play Gears of War for the first time, I hope you fucking fall in love with it because it's an amazing franchise. If you play Flight Sim and you never had access to it before, I hope you have a fucking great time. I don't care that you're getting to play the game, right? But some will take the fact that I don't care that other people get to play games as if I am some kind of a paid shill for Microsoft, spreading the message of glory of games for everyone. And this is what I was assigned to do because Xbox sent me a check and said, "Hey, Mav, it's your turn on the podcast to make sure you talk positively about this shit." I don't do that. No, but if anybody's actually delusional enough to actually think that exists within the podcasting space in these fan-made podcasts that go on, you're fucking full of shit. Okay? Like, second off, I got to question your intelligence. And then think about it logically for a second. Somebody's acting like they don't care about this. So that means that they're taking some kind of a, like, propaganda money thing to go and make sure you talk positively about it to diminish the bad that can happen. It's fucking stupid, man. I don't care, first off, about any of these mega corporations. Screw Sony, screw Nintendo, screw Google, screw Amazon, screw Apple, screw Microsoft. I don't give a fuck about any of them. I care about my experience. I care about what I get to play. Okay? I care about my value in the games that I get access to. I care about the games that get announced. I care about the games that are coming. I care about the franchises, all of these games that I love to play. I don't give a fuck if somebody else gets to play it. And if it makes you salty that I don't care, too fucking bad. Too fucking bad. I could care less that you don't care that I don't fucking care. Like,
Bong, you look like a proud papa.
I love my brothers. The Mav rants are, man, and I love it just because it is wild how people can't wrap their heads around this stuff and literally can't in any way, shape, or form. Because I can put myself in other people's shoes when they talk about disappointment for Xbox going this route. I can do all that kind of shit. But the fact that we're to a point where just if you just go look what Microsoft and Xbox has decided to do, so I'm going to sit back and enjoy the freaking ride for as long as it lasts. All of a sudden, you must be paid. That there's no way you can go with. What are we talking about here, folks? Are you a gamer or are you a corporate shill, literally? Which one is it? Because you can't sit there as a gamer in any way, shape, or form and understand this industry and not get the fact this industry has never remained the same. We have seen ups and downs. We haven't seen in crashes that almost took out the entire industries at one point. Maybe you're too young to know all that. Maybe you should go read up on your favorite hobby and understand the history of how many companies have come and gone. Hardware manufacturers, devs, publishers, all of it through the years. And
there's a reason there's only three console makers.
Look at the size of this industry right now. And unless you want this industry to contract, which again, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh God, that'd be the worst thing ever. But unless you want this whole industry to contract and go back to closer to the good old days, right, where there wasn't as much money, there wasn't as many companies, there wasn't as many people making games, and it was more of a niche hobby, then this is what we get these days. If this wasn't big money, these big players wouldn't be here. If it wasn't big money, we wouldn't see them dumping 300, 400 million fucking dollars into one game. Whether good or bad, the fact that that's even happening from where we came from is freaking unbelievable. So this is where we're at. And these companies are going to make decisions upon it. They're all doing something a little bit different for one of the first times in the industry. We actually have really like 3 different ecosystems right now at the same time. Who's going to wind up on top? Does it really matter? What matters is that they all survive in some way because they've all contributed greatly to this industry as we know it now. Whether it's still as hardware manufacturers, whether it's as full-time third-party publishers, the biggest publishers in the world that Xbox already is, whatever the case may be, this industry rolls on. And if it's healthier because of this, if we wind up going through more changes, and there are going to be more changes as we get into next generation, because these companies are going to have to make big decisions on how games are made. If those changes as well, but it keeps the industry going, moving forward, and I get more games because of it, then as the gamer, I got nothing to fucking complain about. I'll make my decisions accordingly, according to my wallet, according to my wants, according to my needs, and according to accessibility. And that's all it is. If the benefit is great, if I still love playing games, I'm here. But as a gamer, I can't complain about the amount of content. This is the golden age of gaming for a reason, folks. So try to wrap your head around the fact that nothing in this industry ever stays the same. It's been good, but it's time. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look upon it, it has been time for changes. And the old ways just don't work anymore unless you're talking about contracting the entire industry and going back to a niche hobby. So that's why I say just ride.
It ain't going with that. That ain't happening.
It's not going back.
No.
We got a lot of super chats to get to. We got to get caught up here. Alvin, member for 2 years. 2 long
Holy
years.
fuck.
Alvin, with a $5 super chat, says, Sakurai has said in the past that Smash only has characters that have appeared on Nintendo platforms. So to Steele's point, Chief might be in the next Smash.
Uh,
I think
Right.
also like when the Switch 2 is announced, when they do whatever their show is where they reveal a bunch of games and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple Xbox games at the actual thing.
At the
Yep.
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would
Yep.
be like older ones, like, hey, finally this is playable on Nintendo. You know what I
I'm
mean?
sure
It would
Black
be
Ops will be
Half-Life
on there.
Rush.
Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi for Rush would be a good one.
Well, that's already there, right?
it's already there, I think.
Yeah.
Right? It was on. Switch,
well, was that
right?
only on
No.
PlayStation? I can't remember.
PlayStation.
It's
It
only
was
on
just PlayStation.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought it
not-
was
that's
Switch.
not-
Oh, okay.
No, I couldn't do
Just play-
60 on Switch.
What about
Yeah.
the Sea of Thieves on Switch yet?
No.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that would be
no.
one I could see.
Yeah.
Just Grounded and Pentiment?
Just Grounded, I think, made it over
Okay.
there.
Grounded and Pentiment. Yeah,
I thought it was Pentiment,
Pentiment.
but it could be just Grounded then.
maybe, I'm not sure. Alvin, member again for 2 years, says Fair Games is already on its way to the graveyard. Master Chief Collection and Gears hitting PlayStation are the nails in that coffin. Good luck with the games as a service, Herman. I was making before the show started. We were making jokes about 3-bit ruining the industry, and him telling PlayStation to cancel factions because they're not going to need it anyway because Halo's going to PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 3-bit's fault, right? JJ Sayin 117 with the $2 super chat says Xbox will be like Amazon Fire TV and sticks. Well, they already are on Amazon Fire TV now, and they are going to be on LG apps later this year, and they're already on Samsung. The more of this will continue to happen, but also the upside of this as well is they're continuing to improve Xbox Anywhere and the amount of games that are going to be available via the cloud, via game ownership, right? So for all these access points that you have, if you have a library of Xbox games, it's going to continue to grow the games that you own plus Game Pass that you can play in the cloud. Not only that, but also via the PC app, which in March they're supposed to have more news regarding the Xbox app on PC. They already just updated the Xbox app on PC recently and added a bunch of games to that have dual entitlement, and they're
That's how
supposed to be
they'll-
adding some more. So
That's how they'll differentiate their ecosystem over time.
Yeah.
From
and we're already
other things.
seeing Square and Atlas starting to take advantage of these things with new games as well, like Dragon Quest 2D Dragon Quest HD 2D remake just was dual entitlement. Metaphor had dual entitlement, right? The Square Enix, the Final Fantasy like pixel remasters have dual entitlement, and several other games that are there. I was surprised to see Guardians of the Galaxy is there. Gotham Knights is there on dual entitlement. Different publishers there. Also, like NBA 2K25, if you own it, you can stream it in the cloud. 2K, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either. Wow.
yeah. If you own the NBA 2K25, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can stream it in the cloud, and it plays fucking amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, there's several. There's 50 games I started with, and it's going to continue to be more and more.
I want like a handheld, but I'm like, should I just wait for Xbox to do it?
Yeah, well, later this year, 3-bit.
Mhm.
Because if we take Jason Ronald's comments for what he said at CES, the merger of combination of this new Xbox / Windows becoming kind of more intertwined in one is supposed to happen later this year. And I would imagine if that launches officially, because they wanted to make Xbox playable better on PC and also on handhelds, I imagine when that happens, they're going to have some kind of a launch with a third-party device. Steam just had the announcement for the Lenovo Legion Go S, which is the first licensed third-party Steam Deck, if you want to say, I guess. It's the Steam OS running on a Lenovo. And later this year, I would anticipate the first one running on this newer version of Windows would happen. But also, what I'm more curious about is if the other ones that already exist are going to just get updated, because if it's a Windows feature and an OS thing, like, can they just update everybody's Windows to take advantage of this? Which I would imagine that would be the case for PC, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna have to go buy a fucking new PC. You just update your PC. So why wouldn't it be the same for the handhelds that are running Windows?
Worst case, it might be like on certain chipsets, so an early
Yeah.
chipset of like the ROG Ally, possibly. But
kind of like Windows
from what I've
11
been
wouldn't
hearing
run
on
on some. Yeah.
but from what I've been hearing, the stuff that they were testing was on all the handhelds since pretty much since around the Steam Deck time. So the original ROG Ally, the original Legion, the original, well, the MSI Claw is fairly new, but all of them should be compatible.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. So that would be the time. Wait later this year, see what they announce. That's going to be the thing to watch, right? For this new vision for Microsoft for Xbox, those are going to be the things to watch. This next gen hardware, how does it announce the PC going forward? The games that we own, are we going to be able to play our console games on the PC in the future? How are they going to make that work? Xbox anywhere, Xbox everywhere. If that's truly the vision, that's what they got to execute on. And that's what's going to be interesting to see, and that's what I think they're all trying to figure out, and they're doing all these moves for right now. So, we should be asking every game to support Xbox anywhere.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's a fucking amazing feature.
I definitely see the console, PC, handheld, all being one unison. So you buy one copy and it works all places. I think people are going to start seeing that as, well, shit, how big the gaming PC community is and handheld community, seeing, if Xbox comes about with one, and I definitely see them go and play anywhere, definitely, because when you look at, if Sony doesn't participate on anything like that, and they stick to their old ways, again, they're just going to get left behind as the industry moves forward, and they're going to be like, but we're PlayStation. We have the best place to play these cinematic games. So come back, everybody. And people are like, yeah, no, we can play your games on PC now, so we're good. So,
yeah. I see a comment in the chat from Michael Squires says Xbox gave up big time right when they have the best lineup they ever had. Yeah, I mean, I would say that if you want to say Xbox gave up going head to head with Sony in the console hardware space, then yeah, they're not as focused on just competing 1-to-1 on the hardware side anymore. But they didn't give up as a company or on Xbox. That's where
not new information.
Yeah.
They said that a long time ago anyway.
Yeah, that's what Phil pretty much told us. Like
that's not.
So, but to say that Xbox gave up is saying that Xbox gave up as a brand and as a company, which is far from the truth. They're actually bigger and stronger than they've ever been before, and acquiring more customers than they've ever had before.
It's like the Xbox is dead thing that happens every year. I feel like
every year, it's every fucking month for some
every month
content creator
at this point. But it's like, if we're just talking business wise, Xbox, they looked at it and saw their numbers weren't growing. Phil talked about how they lost in the hardest generation it was, in order to get customers to get out of their comfortability and their ecosystem. Same amount of people are buying consoles every single generation. So it's like they're looking at that, and there's a reason why Phil talks about the numbers, trying to grow their player base to like billions of gamers, and that's jumping outside of just consoles, putting PC, mobile, which are bigger than the console base. So it is what it is.
Time will tell the answers to all these things, right? JJ saying 117 with the $5 super chat says, I'm worried more about other craziness in this world than what a gaming company does. I play games to have fun, enjoy gaming wherever you play. 100%. Facts. If you play on PlayStation, enjoy the shit out of it, right? If you play on Nintendo, enjoy the shit out of it. If you play on Xbox, enjoy the shit out of it. And there's no reason for you to stop. If you enjoy the games, they're still coming. And the
I've literally thought about,
I've
literally thought about what else would I do if I stopped gaming? Like what else, like, am I gonna knit? Like what other hobby am I gonna pick up? You know what I mean? In the meantime, like just realistically for me, I don't know about any of you guys. Like, okay, if the bottom falls out, what's the other option for me? I can't really see myself doing anything else for like a consistent hobby. But Yeah, man, I'm with you on everything that you said, man. The one thing I wanted to highlight too about Xbox too is that simultaneously, it's weird that, like you said, they're also having like this renaissance from their game, like the game standpoint, first party, third party. They're getting a little bit of everything. They're about as strong on the east side of things, like Japan, Korea, as they've been since probably the 360 generation.
Oh
They have a
yeah.
lot of relationships over there that they've built. They put in a lot of work. They took a lot of ass kickings the last two generations, a lot of doors slammed in faces, but Phil and them still went out there, put in the work. A lot of the games we get, last year, this year, wouldn't have even looked at Xbox as a possible platform. So they have put in work, and that fruit's starting to bear on the tree. So there are a lot of benefits still left in the Xbox ecosystem. So I think, like you guys all stated, that's going to be the biggest, rather than the console itself. The ecosystem is going to be the biggest draw because they still offer things that the other two don't, that you just can't get in Nintendo, you just can't get in PlayStation as well. And I think that's more of the appealing than just, okay, let's max out at 80 million consoles every single generation. Yeah, I think that's more appealing to them that, can we convince people that this ecosystem is, a better option than just our console?
Yeah. The other thing too to consider in all of this as well, because we've seen what happened to Sony, is, again, I always hate to go back to it, but the money is so important because it's big business. This way that Xbox is going, and again, it's always going to be an if because nobody can tell the future, but so far so good from what we've seen. If this allows Xbox to continue to allow their dev teams to make the games they want to make instead of forcing them into something, that is also one of the biggest benefits. We've seen Ubisoft now in massive trouble for chasing the golden goose, for losing sight of what makes great games, for chasing the monetization all over the place, for forcing their studios to try to create games with money first instead of great gameplay and fun factor first. And then we've seen Sony take a bunch of their first-party studios and tell them that they needed to go start chasing after monetizing games, right? Games as a service. And what happened? The wheels came off real fucking quick, didn't it? And now they're back to square one. They need to find some games that are successful in that field. They got Helldivers 2. That's a good start. But they need to find some more games in order to keep their first-party studios, like your Naughty Dogs, like your Insomniacs, in that mode to keep making those single-player games that fan base loves so much. And without it, what are you going to wind up with? Well, probably not going to wind up with $300, $400 million budgets anymore. You're going to wind up with a lot smaller games, like that's already been hinted at, or breaking the games up into 2 or 3 parts. For Xbox's side, when I look at Xbox, they've already got the games as a service. They've already got all these different things going for them. Now they're starting to put their games on more and more systems, which just increases that revenue. That means your Bethesdas can go make my favorite open world RPGs. That means your Obsidians can keep doing all the games they love, right? And on and on and on. If it means that World's Edge can continue to make strategy games because they're going to put the strategy games on places that haven't seen that in a long ass time, I'm all for it. That's also important. The diversity of lineup, the diversity of games, allowing creative freedom is also, I believe, at stake with these decisions. So if this is what they got to go do to make that a safe bet, more power to them. Let's go.
Well, as PTK was mentioning earlier as well, you mentioned stronger in Japan and in the East and Korea and stuff. Part of the rumors that happened as well, which had already been being made in the past by many, is that Final Fantasy 16 is going to be potentially happening this year on Xbox, as well as Final Fantasy remake part 1, and then potentially remake part 2 next year. Rebirth. So that was part of the rumors, and yeah, Square's said it. They're not on board with the whole PlayStation exclusivity thing anymore, right? I mean, they've said that publicly. Do they still have some contracts that they have to uphold? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see on future game announcements. But I think that the proof is in the pudding on their words that they've been using and saying that we can expect more Square Enix stuff going more places, right? And we've already seen that from Atlas this gen. We've seen it from other publishers as well. Yakuza was also a franchise that used to skip. And yeah, you have a lot of smaller games. Like every week on FSP, we have like tidbits and stuff, and we see like these smaller games and stuff. Like, oh, they're not making that for Xbox. Yeah, and that's gonna happen, right? Because it's just not as popular of a platform, right? That's also part of the reason I think next gen, the whole PC thing might kind of fix some of that stuff as well, right? So we'll see what happens with that. But man. Something else you said, PTK, was everything's coming together with the games and the lineup and the
What are we here for, Mav?
Yeah.
What are we here for? I thought that's what we were here for.
100%. If it's the games that you care about, and if it's the games that draw you to an ecosystem, well, there's still more coming to Xbox than any other platform and ecosystem for 2025 for big games. And guess what? You also get them in Game Pass day and date. But we got this Dev Direct announcement, guys. Xbox Dev Direct announced for January the 23rd. Same day that Pong and I will be playing Tokyo Extreme Racer, and we like to welcome anybody else to play Tokyo Extreme Racer on Steam Early Access that day, because I still can't believe that's actually fucking happening, but it is. So Tokyo Extreme Racer is happening on that day, as well as a Dev Direct from Xbox, which will feature South of Midnight. It will feature Doom, The Dark Ages. It will feature Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. And then it will also feature a mystery game coming this year. So, now, was it last week that we went down the line and tried to speculate on 2025 and 2026, and we just like minds were being blown about no matter what we do, if we say no, that's not coming this year, the amount of games, we were pushing games for 2026, and we were realizing like, well, there's no room in 2026. So like if we were making 2026 even crazier than 2025 with the amount of games that we're pushing to 2026 on our speculation of what games are coming when, and it just no matter how you cut it, right? No matter how you look at it, with the games that should be around a year away or less, or 2 years away or less, right? Either 2026 is fucking insane, or 2025 is fucking insane, or what was really happening is 2025 and 2026 are going to be fucking insane. So if you're abandoning ship because somebody else gets to play games, I'm just saying you might want to hold off a little bit and wait till after those games before you go sell your Series X, or because you might be spending a hell of a lot of money on those games somewhere else. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, I seen this one post where when Call of Duty was announced, in Game Pass and stuff like that, he's like, I'm abandoning Xbox because I'm going to play Call of Duty on PlayStation. And then a lot of people are saying like, hey, well, you realize that, it's Game Pass. You have Game Pass. It's basically, subscription price and all that. And he was like, yeah, but, Xbox betrayed its user base and all this different stuff. It's just like the mentality that some people can get into for the sake of like this list wars. I can't personally get into that mentality, but a lot of cool things at this Dev Direct. I'm looking forward to seeing Doom, Dark Ages, for example. Like, I want to see how they're planning on doing the dragon sort of thing.
Flight?
Like, yeah, like how are they gonna handle that? Like, does that mean the maps are more open nowadays? Like,
that could just be a particular map or a particular.
You think it's just like a section?
It could be. I mean,
it could be like a set piece thing, like, hey, fly this dragon from this point to this point and avoid all these things, and or you could maybe it's like Doom How to Train Your Dragon, and you fucking got the dragon like with you at all times. You can whistle and call your dragon.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, I forgot I can't play it. It'll make me motion sick. I can't play first person. It'll make me motion sick.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you play Halo all these fucking years?
Oh, that doesn't count.
Is this a real thing?
What?
Wait.
Only
What?
Bethesda-based games, first person.
Is it
Bethesda
Bethesda?
games.
Oh, okay.
Bethesda
Oh,
game.
man.
I
I
get
get
motion.
you. That
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't first person games make you motion sick, so you can't play.
Yeah. Bethesda games
yeah.
only. Yeah.
Okay. Right. I know what you're getting at there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll go around and kind of get like each one of our most anticipated game to see at this that we know about. PTK, what's your most out of the three that we know of? What's your most anticipated to see more info on?
So I'm more so probably South of Midnight, although Doom is a close second because I love the first Doom 2016 and then obviously the next one as well were fantastic fucking games, and they always cook no matter what. You can always count on them to make a fantastic quality game. They stick to the script and they innovate, but they stick to the Doom script. It always feels fresh, but it always feels like Doom. So I know that's going to be fantastic. Like you just said, 3-bit, want to see the flying. Don't forget about the mech too. Well, we got to see how that works too. Is that mech just a set piece? I assume you probably can't walk around in that shit like Voltron or anything, but you might have it for a couple missions or two. That'd be cool. But South of Midnight is going to be, we don't get games like South of Midnight. It feels niche because of like such a focus on a particular area, a particular type of lore. But I think it's a very, very important game for Xbox. We're not even getting into the identity politics or representation. I just think the type of game that it is. You know what I mean? The platforming, the characters, the story. It's fantastic, and to see them be able to like flesh this thing out. They've been dropping clips consistently too. It's small clips, like 8 or 10-second clips, and it's really coming together, man. Like it's really coming together. I don't know how big the game's gonna be. I'm curious to see. You know what I mean? Like, is this 20-hour game, 15-hour game, maybe less? I don't know. So I want to see that too. But it's gonna be South of Midnight for me, man. I just think the amount. I watched that documentary too. Did you guys get a chance to watch the Compulsion documentary about South of Midnight?
Yeah.
The passion, the level of like detail that the entire team is behind this 1,000%, and to see that studio that made We Happy Few, and then they took a long time off and then turn around and put something out like this. It looks insanely fun. The platforming, the combat looks a little bit more in depth than I thought. Like, dare I say? You know what I mean? A little Dark Souls-ish sometimes. She was fighting that gator. She was diving and rolling and all these cool kind of things and showing all her different abilities. So I think for me, I'm probably most excited about seeing that one outside of, the unannounced game or whatever is, bonus that we get. It's probably going to be South of Midnight, brother.
Right on, man. Yeah, I'm excited to see that, learn more about it. I think that one's also probably going to have the soonest release date.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah. Which I think is pretty much a guarantee we'll get that at the release date. Psycho, what did you finish your cannoli with chocolate chips?
Fuck yeah, I did, dog. That was good shit.
So, what's your most anticipated that we know of to see at the Dev Direct?
I'm excited for Doom: The Dark Ages and South of Midnight. Those are the two that are I'm really excited about. But also, whatever this unannounced title. Now it's unannounced title. So it's one of those like, okay, tinfoil hats on.
You're cheating. You can only pick from the 3 that we know.
God damn it! Listen. I want. Who knows? Then South of Midnight.
South of Midnight.
Yep.
Do you have any reason why? Is there cannoli?
Well,
with chocolate
because
chips
I do like
South of
the
Midnight?
whole. I'm a huge blues guy, so for that opening scene with the announcement trailer, when what's the fuck's his name?
Bobby Johnson or something? Bobby something.
Bobby.
Bob Johnson. Is it Bob
Yeah.
Johnson? I think. Yeah.
So the old style blues player, like that song, like Death Don't Have No Mercy. That song is like, there's a whole like thing that I relate with that song. So it's one of those like, holy shit, this game is like really touching on that Louisiana feel. They got that whole grittiness to it. With that, there's probably more to this game than they have let on that we will definitely get fleshed out at this devs direct. So that game, it just has that feel. And the cool thing is it has that stop motion to it, and if you don't like it, you can turn it off, which is a cool thing if you're not into it. But there's just a lot about that game, just watching the trailer and everything, that really gets it's something different, and it's something that I admire Xbox for going out and trying different things with their studios, allowing them have the freedom to do that and not give gamers cookie cutter games for the last 10 years. So I admire that, and I'm here for South of Midnight.
Right on, bro. Love it. What about you, Fuzz? Are you another South of Midnighter, or are you gonna roll with something else?
South of Midnight is the leading one, with Expedition 33 a close second.
Yeah.
Love Doom, but like Doom is Doom, and this one has a nice aesthetic to it. Now it's more of a I don't want to say Hexen type game, but it's more like an old like not chivalry, but like knights type of thing. So I'm looking forward to it, but the platformer aspect, even though I'm not the biggest platformer fan, I'm looking forward to South of Midnight. There is some simple. It kind of reminds me of Kena Bridge of Spirits without the cute little furry things. But I like the traversal that they've shown. I like the way it closes off almost like an arena for the haints that you're going to fight and stuff like that. And then just the lore and the storytelling that they're going to have involved in it. Looking forward to see what they show as far as something that wasn't in like the documentary for the display over at the Dev Direct. But that's the biggest one on the three that we know. But I got a theory on that fourth one, so
Right on.
I'll
yeah,
wait.
we're gonna have some fun speculation here in a minute. Well, I was gonna go 3-bit next, but he disappeared. He vanished. Pong. Out of those three, I think we're on the same page with this. Maybe. Curious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seen enough of South Midnight. Everybody knows. I'm still excited to download it and play it. I'm not a platformer guy. Looks like a lot of platforming and stuff. Everything looks cool. Can't wait to try it. But we've seen enough there. I'm good. Doom, I am super hyped for. Like, I can't wait to see more. And we're supposed to get a nice deep dive here, which is great because we've only seen, like a minute or two of the actual gameplay itself. But I know what id's going to do, right? Again, all I'm there for is to make sure that they're not doing platforming again. And I'm sold. Okay, I am sold.
I feel you on that, Pong. You're right.
I know. I heard Jez talking
right.
about it today, dude.
You're right.
Jez's agreement on this too, and I was like, yes, thank you, Jez. Yeah, as long as they don't do the platforming, as long as we're back to classic style Doom, I already know what I'm gonna love that freaking game to death. So it's Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. I want to see more of this game. We saw and have had a lot of tweets out there or on X and stuff posts.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a lot, but I want to see more of this game. I am fascinated by how this game appears on screen from what we've seen. It reminds me, and I don't think that the feeling I get from this game is like when I first saw Metaphor Refantasio. It jumps off the screen. It's the style that they have going on here. It is that classic realness of old school Final Fantasy with the turn-based, but up to date. But then you got live parrying and dodging involved as well. But it's the art direction, the environments that we got to see the last time we saw it, the different environments are captivating, at least for me. So, and this is a studio that's brand new, Sandfall, made up of a ton of ex-Ubisoft talent, which again, Ubisoft has bled more talent than I think we've ever seen before, especially high-level talent. So it is obvious that this is coming from a group of individuals who had an extreme passion to go make something of their own. And the different ideas that they're putting together in one package have me extremely intrigued and hyped for this game. And again, it's coming into Game Pass. We assume the first half. They said spring of 2025. I want to get that release date, but I want to see more. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is high on my list this year. I can't wait to see this dev direct, because I also want to see the studio, and I want to get to see who some of these people are, because I've gone to their website, I've kind of looked through their stuff. We got to see their reaction when the game was announced at the Xbox June showcase, and their excitement to see their game up there on the big screen. So now I want to get to know the people, and that's what these dev directs, Tina Amini, and again, I'll always shout out to Tina.
Hey.
But her and her team do such a fabulous job of giving us that as well, the human side of game development, and getting to know the devs and what their studio is like. That's also what I'm excited for here.
Right on, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am super on board with that. Let's get 3-Bit's thoughts. What out of the three? What are you looking forward to the most?
Sorry, my power went out randomly.
I was wondering what happened.
Yeah. Acting up from the
Chat said you
snowstorm.
went to get DoorDash, or you went to order DoorDash.
No one's coming. I live in Georgia. Snowstorm. No one's coming. No one's coming. So I'm really excited for South of Midnight. I know I'm echoing the sentiment a couple people here, but just the I think it's Gula inspired creatures. Like a lot of what's in there. If you guys watch the documentary, what it's inspired by, it's inspired by a lot of folklore that's just been told over time through word of mouth. I don't remember if that was told in the documentary or if it was.
It
Okay,
was.
okay.
When they mentioned
So
they got
cool.
they used that lady for resource, like historical resources, that
Oh,
African
yeah.
American lady. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that in video game form. The only other like new or Nolans game that I could think of that's kind of in a similar vein would be Mafia 3, where it was like New Orleans inspired. But other than that, it's not. It's rarer to see a game that's focused on like the deep South, and actually tackle that. Like we've seen so many other games, the Italian Renaissance. We've seen other stuff, even in Far Cry, America, South, and stuff like that. But we haven't seen like this version, very often. So I'm actually really excited to see their take on it. What, like, what have they researched? How does that translate to the creatures in the game? And also the environments look beautiful, like from the small clips, it just looked really well done. So I'm excited to see their take on not only the culture of the Deep South, but I'm also really interested in how they approach the gameplay. I love when artistry does stuff like let's limit the frame rate because it looks cool and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of that as an animator. So I'm I'm sure they even thought about that with the combat, and I just want to see what Compulsion has done, because I was really interested in Compulsion when they did We Happy Few. I thought the vision for that game was super strong. It was like BioShock in in a lot of ways, but it was like their take. But it was like they didn't have the budget or means to really tackle that big of a game. So you could tell like some of the scope wasn't fully there, but you could tell they were a talented team back then. They just didn't have the financial means to push the game to what they probably wanted We Happy Few to be. Now they have that. So I'm interested in this team's evolution as a studio as well. If anything, like of what I'm looking forward to is that I like to follow studios and see how they learn from past games and see how they can evolve for the next one. So definitely that if I had to pick one out of the three, I'm really excited to see South of Midnight. But of course, Doom and stuff like that, I am very excited for. I want to get in mechs and ride dragons and things like that. Um, I just like, yeah, I'm picking more South of Midnight. It's newer. I'm interested in something new to play. So yeah,
Right on, man.
that's my pick.
For me, it's like Pong was talking about Clear Obscure 30 Expedition 33. That's for me, my kind of game. I've been looking forward to see more of it ever since we saw the June showcase. They've had some things that I've checked out, but this is going to be another deeper, extended look at it. It's also slated for spring this year, so I think it's another one we're going to get an early release date. It's a Game Pass day and date. It's like what I envisioned when I was younger. One day JRPGs would turn into, right? This is made by a French studio, but it's still got that heart of a JRPG and turn-based combat and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited to see that one, and obviously I'm still excited to see South of Midnight. We've seen a lot of it already, so I think it's coming soon. Then we got Doom: The Dark Ages. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm more excited to see how they're working out some of the gameplay stuff with it. Is it going to stick to the same formulas as Doom Eternal and 2016, or are they going to kind of change things up a little bit with the formula of the gameplay there and the moment-to-moment stuff and also the platforming? But the setting, I'm 100% sold on Doom: The Dark Ages. But also, I wanted to give a shout-out to JMac, who has just said, hey, this is for the chat. So I'm going to try and bring this up on the screen here. And for first one to get this. Now I know it's kind of small. Let me try and make it bigger. There we go. First one to get this. This is courtesy of JMac. I know it's maybe small for you guys. You're gonna have to like take a screenshot, zoom in, do whatever your tricks you got to do. But the code's right there. You can see it, and you could get 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. So shout out to JMac.
That's awesome, man.
Yep, that's awesome, man. Give it to some of the peeps that don't have it.
You're on a phone, screenshot it, stretch it out. If you're on a TV, it's probably already big enough. Good luck. Good luck, everybody. Let us know who gets it. But yeah, man, I'm excited. But when I saw the thumbnail for it, the announcement, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jesse got it.
Jesse got it. Yeah.
Hey, congrats, game on Jesse.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
And so the things that jumped out to me, obviously, we have a secret game, right? And we live in speculation town, right? So my mind's already saying like, what? Amazing. We get to speculate on what the hell this game is that's coming out this year. Because Jason Ronald and Aaron Greenberg both said for games coming this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. How is this many people saying they got it?
Yeah, what the heck?
No, I just saw
Did it
that
work
too.
multiple times?
Is a universal code?
I don't know what the hell.
It works for. Hey, maybe I'll try it.
I know, right? We all need to try the code.
Did
you get Game Pass and you get Game Pass.
Look on the receipt. You get.
Did JMac have the? Did JMac have a magic code here?
Yeah.
No way.
Everyone's saying Jesse got it. Just saying got it. Hey, shoot.
Getting trolled in your own chat, man.
I think so. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm tempted to try it now. Shit. I'll try it.
I just got it, y'all. Let's go.
Somebody said thanks for the code. Oh shit. Maybe somebody said thanks for the code just so other people stop trying.
That's a good strategy.
That is a good strategy.
Good
You know, be like, say it 2 seconds later. Oh, I got it. Thanks. You know, everybody else like, oh shit.
Yeah, because he's like, I gotta go upstairs. I gotta, you know.
What? No, you guys are trolling at this point. Redeem thinks I got the code.
Jasper.
We found the Game Pass master code. What the? It worked for me.
Code.
Are you guys fucking serious? J-Mac fucking is like Game Pass Santa right now, man. Holy
Straight
shit.
up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man.
He found
Um,
the secret code.
Can we like pause the show for like 10 minutes while we all go fucking put this code in?
Right?
Everybody redeem this code now.
Man, straight up.
Found a glitch in the matrix, I guess. So wow. Now some people have pointed out that it's like I put JMac's credit card information on the fucking screen. It's like, no. I was like, no. 3 minutes, I'm sorry. Oh. No, people have pointed out that there's 11 question marks on the name. So I like, hey,
Oh, is there?
Has
Yeah,
any of that stuff ever correlated at all with the last 2 directs? Has any of the like graphics ever gave anything away?
well, the other directs, what
don't
happened
recall.
was they didn't have any secret games hidden on there, but they always had the space left
the
over where we're
space,
like, oh,
yeah,
there's enough
left
room
over.
for another game,
Mhm.
which
and wasn't there
exists.
5 usually instead of 4 this
There's
time?
usually 4 that are shown and then a fifth
and then
surprise.
the one extra. Okay.
But there's still the
Mhm.
space there on the top left of the original. So there could still be a 5th game. We got to speculate on that.
yeah.
But beyond that, this is the first time where they're saying, hey, there's a secret game there. Right? So it could be a secret game. Now I'm curious if the 11 question marks thing, if we think there's something to that, because underneath in the same spot where they put the studio names for the other studios, there's 11 question marks underneath the secret game, right? So
Mm.
we were doing some sleuthing last night on PM and the PM, and with the chat, and we got several recommendations, right, on names. Now it could include a space. Square Enix would work. Double Fine would work. Nether Realm would work. I figured that one out, which would be crazy. But yeah, there was several studios that would actually work. I think Iron Galaxy would work too. Somebody had pointed out. Yeah. What do you think? Like, first off, do you think this is a first party game, PTK, or do you think it's a third party game?
Wow. Okay. So just based off tradition, we usually get at least one. So last year, Mana was the third party game, right? Vengeance of Mana, right? Wasn't that the one that all the other 4 were first party? If I'm correct, last year
Yeah, Visions of Mana was the third
was
party game.
the extra one, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the extra game that we got, the surprise.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the other 4 were published by
Um,
Microsoft.
I'm leaning first party, and here's why. Because I just feel, I mean, some people Double Fine's a good one. That I've been hearing that one quite often. We have information about Double Fine being busy, relatively like recent. Last year I know, here and there we get stuff on the timeline about them working on a game. I know they had that what was that game called? It was like what was it, Kiln or whatever the game was. It's probably not that, but I'm leaning first party, brother. I mean, I just feel like, yeah, I'm leaning first party. I feel like that would be a nice, a good slot. If they stick to the tradition of just one third party game,
Yeah.
one, and everything else is first party, that fits right in with tradition as well. Do they change the strategy? Do they do 2 third party games and then only 3 first party? I don't really see them changing the strategy, brother. That's why I think that one will be first party, man. Double Fine's a good one too, man. And then I know Jason Ronald confirmed unannounced, correct? That was the kind of the key
Yeah, they
thing, right?
said
We haven't
brand is a surprise location for a brand new game.
surprise location.
Yeah, because they're going to the on location to the different studios, right? So they're going to
Got it.
Richardson, Texas for Doom. They're going to Palier. Somebody corrected me on Boom Show for France for Clair Obscure Expedition 33,
Mhm.
and they're going to Canada for or what was the other one? South of Midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in Canada,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, they're Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are
Um,
then they're like surprise location for a brand new game.
Yeah, man. You just piqued my interest when you said Iron Galaxy 2 because I've been wanting another Killer Instinct, and they've said nothing about a new one at all. We they support the original, but they've said nothing about a new one. I know at one point they came out and said we just need somebody to make one, right? Basically, we just need to find somebody to make it, which is asinine to me. You could hand that to damn near any, I just have a hard time thinking that anybody would be like, we're doing other things right now. We don't really want Killer Instinct. I just find that hard to believe, but you never know. So yeah, I'm going first party, brother. I'm not going to drag this out. Going first party.
Okay. First party, and you think Double Fine if it's first party?
Double Fine would be great. I love Killer Instinct too. I'm not the biggest fighting fan, but I do think that's always been one franchise they have not taken care of, but they haven't taken advantage of, especially with the resurgence in fighters, with Street Fighters, and you see Virtua Fighter looking crazy right now. Obviously, Mortal Kombat's always a great game. Like why not throw your hat in the ring? It's a heavily supported game. People still support it. People love the game. It fits right in, obviously. And I think it fits the portfolio. They don't have a first party fighting game at all at this point. So it'll fit right into that slot too. And then obviously it'll be a huge surprise for a lot of people. I don't think any of us would have predicted a Killer Instinct. So I think it would be pretty cool.
Right on, man. Love it, dude. All right. So we got that. What are you thinking, Psycho? What do you think it could be? What's the secret game?
Secret game. God. Double Fine, Iron Galaxy, a lot of those, because it's unannounced game is what he said for that one. Because I threw out there Team Cherry, but for me that was more like the fifth game that because I said, I was like, they usually do 5 games. They don't do just 4. They do 5. So that's why I threw out there Team Cherry. But we'll see how that goes, truthfully. But it could be Double Fine, because that kind of seems like it's been, 4 years since Psychonauts 2? About? Or has it been 3? But they've been working on other things during Psychonauts 2, so anything's possible.
All right, man. Love it. What about you, Fuzz? You're on
All
mute.
right,
Oh no,
so
you're not. You're good.
No, you're good.
You're good. Yeah, yeah. It was just didn't pick up when you first started talking. Yeah.
It's tough to speculate on what this game could be because, like, originally I thought it would be like a spot for Square Enix. Like, oh, we're going to get the announcement that Final Fantasy 16 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like
that could be like a 5th thing.
Yeah, I still think Square makes an appearance, but if it's that box, I'm guessing it's Final Fantasy 16. But Jason Ronald, we know, likes to post on social media sometimes, and like when he was on ILP, what was that, like 2 or 3 years ago? Actually, probably 4 years ago now. He was making mention that his most anticipated game for that year hadn't been announced yet, and June showcase we found out it was Forza Horizon 5, and he said these are his 4 most anticipated games, and it got me thinking, well, I can see him being looking forward to the other 3 that we know of, but another one that might be like something he's looking forward to would be a Forza Horizon 6, which they changed up what they did this holiday compared to most years. They have it where you gift cars and the whole community gets a free car out of the deal kind of thing. They didn't do that this year, especially after I saved up a lot of cars to give away and stuff. But originally I thought it was a 2026 game. I know Playground Games doesn't fit the 11 question mark thing, but I'm starting to wonder if Forza Horizon 6 was moved from 2026 to 2025. It would seem like a weird time to show it because that would probably mean it would release before June, but typically that's a game that comes out like October, November, or September, October range. But I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if that might be it, unless Jason Ronald's thinking something totally different. It'll be like a complete left field. Heck, it could even be Death Stranding 2. No, I'm just kidding on that one. But yeah, I kind of feel if he's making that mention, maybe it's Forza Horizon 6. Yeah, it doesn't fit the question mark number, but hey, I can dream, can't I?
Yeah, I mean, the question marks may not mean a damn thing, right? They might have just been like, randomly it just hit 11. You know,
It's more fun if they do, though.
it is more fun if they do, for sure.
Well, it's more fun for them if they think we care about that, because that's all they care about is that we
100%
have
too.
all this speculation and talk about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're laughing in the background as
yeah,
we're
they're
trying
like,
to guess. They're like, they're
exactly.
completely off track.
Exactly.
We threw him for a loop.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. No, wait.
We're
Phil's
pretty good.
shelves turned out to be pretty damn
Yeah,
Yeah.
good info.
Yeah.
Right? People thought that was
Even the
like
Death
conspiracy
Stranding
theory.
thing turned
And
out.
he thought, and everybody thought he was just messing with us. Well, you know what I'm saying? So I think that Xbox has a history of doing that kind of stuff, of having a little fun, and putting that kind of stuff in there on purpose. So we'll see, but I think it is real. I think the 11 does mean something. I think it does work that way at the end of the day. So we'll see.
3-bit, what game is it going to be? We already know that, right? Just tell
I
us.
have no idea.
A lot of people know, by the way.
lie
too.
to us,
Yeah,
3-bit.
a lot
Lie
of
to
people
us.
do know. I've seen.
I have no idea. I was like thinking about other games that wasn't officially announced, or because was that the rumor? Like it's a game that's not officially
Yeah,
announced,
Jason Ronald said unannounced
unannounced.
for 2025.
I
I
mean,
believe.
my first thought was finally the Wu-Tang game, Project Shaolin. Like that was my first thought, and then I was like 11 question marks. So I started looking up.
Yeah.
I started looking up anything with Wu-Tang and the 11, just to see if there was any correlation. The only thing is they have like a volume 11 mixtape thing, but nothing I could find. Their studio is based in is Brass Lion, I believe, who's doing it. They are based in New York. And I was tempted to type in something for 11 for New York. I didn't get very far. That was my first thought. Like this has been announced maybe 3 to 4 years ago. The Wu-Tang game, it's like been rumored,
Yeah.
for at least 3-4 years. And then the IO Interactive game, is anything happening with that? That's a RPG. Like that's another one that I don't think was
A good
formally
one.
announced.
I
That
saw
was
some people were saying People Can Fly as well. They're working on an
yep.
Xbox game as well too.
Yeah, and like we only know about the IO game because it was in the FTC documents or something like that, if I'm recalling. I'm just trying to think of games that wasn't announced, but it's been rumored for a while. And those are like the two I can think of. That would be really cool to see. Like I want to see what this Wu-Tang game is. The studio, if you look on their website and you look at their social, they've been like dead silent for a couple years, but they have been hiring quite a bit. So yeah, well, I want to see what that status is. But yeah, I don't know. It could be a lot of things. It could be a lot of things because Xbox is working on a lot of projects. But I wish I did know. I did work on the first direct. Not working on these, but it's gonna be it looks like it's gonna be a good one. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm starting to like be more on the first party train, the more and more I think about it, right? Pong, have you had a chance to ponder this some more and come to any good guesses?
Nothing different. I believe that Double Fine is the best guess here. When we talked about it last night, that was my conclusion. I think the Double Fine is the best guess, just because we know multiple projects, because we know how Tim Schafer and his team work, because we had the Kiln smoke last year, potentially at the Xbox showcase, right? That was going to be shadow dropped. It's all lining up. That Double Fine's got something. Now, whether or not it's Kiln, again, that's the easy one. But like we were talking about last night, Mav, they've got at least one. I believe that they probably have 3 total projects now under Tim and his crew. They could surprise us with something, a complete look at something new. Like Kiln still could be held for a shadow drop somewhere else. But yeah, I just think I just think that Double Fine is a perfect spot for this right here, and everybody loves a new Tim Schafer game. So having it as a surprise game, whether you consider Double Fine's games big or you're up your alley, again, their games aren't necessarily up my alley anymore either. Doesn't really matter. They're just fun, they're creative, and everybody loves Tim Schafer. Everybody loves Double Fine. So it's cool to go take a dev direct over to his studio and take a look at what they're doing. So I think that would be kind of dope.
Okay. So Double Fine.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be first party no matter.
Makes sense.
What a surprise. The one and only Game Pass dad, Bob,
Yo.
slides in here.
I forgot to turn off my entrance sound.
No, you're good,
We
man.
got a whole crew up in here. What's going on?
Yeah, this is like the old
Great to
days.
see Game Pass. Yeah.
We're in speculation
No day.
down right
Yeah,
now.
I was listening on my drive home in the middle of a mini blizzard up here.
Yeah, it's like going crazy everywhere. Do you have a show tonight? Do you have a comedy show or?
Yeah, just an open mic. I bring the sound system, so I didn't have a choice whether or not to leave the house.
Nice, dude. Well, we're trying to, figure out what this secret game could be for the Dev Direct. You got any guesses? You got any thoughts?
Probably not a lot different than what you guys were going down. I like judging from like the number of characters and what we've seen and haven't seen, I think it's going to be kind of a surprise. So I'm on the same train of what you're talking about right now. Just Double Fine makes a lot of sense to me for that particular slot. I think it's going to be something that we're not really sure what's going we haven't heard a lot about yet, and that would definitely fit the bill.
Right on. So do you think it's most likely a first party game, or do you think it'd be third party?
Well, there's already one third party, right? I
Yeah.
was listening in on the drive home. I feel like you guys already kind of went over, I think Steele said that they have like a cadence because this is the third year they've done it now, right? They usually have last year they had 3 first parties, and they had like the what was it that they showed, the third party that they showed?
The Visions of Mana.
Yeah, Visions of Mana. Or I'm sorry, it was Blam that said it. Sorry. But yeah, I feel like it's most likely going to be another first party, and then I think there's going to be something different that's like the one more thing.
Okay, I like it. The one more thing is another whole could be anything, right? I like that they gave us something to guess on though, because it's just fun, I like when they do stuff like that.
Well, part of me was thinking for a second that it could be something to do with Warzone, but I don't think the number of question marks lines up with that. But I don't think we've gotten any new details about Warzone either from Call of Duty. So there's a chance, but
Infinity Ward is 11 letters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
With no space.
I haven't looked at it this afternoon, but it was like that scrambled screen, and it kind of matched how they were promoting Black Ops to begin with. So it's about the right time for them to bring out some details about Warzone.
Yeah. I was wrong. It's 12. I miscounted.
Oh.
But I just been going on some rabbit holes. Sorry to distract, but I've been going down a rabbit hole of where the heck is Brass Lion and what have they been doing? And at least the CEO of Brass Lion had they're having like a table talk with Rod Ferguson and Dice. So I don't know. Anyways, continue. I'm just going down this rabbit hole of what game could it be? But Double Fine does make the most sense.
So I got a question for everybody. Are we set on it being 5 again this year total, or 4? You think they change up and just only 4 games total? Or are we still sticking to the 5?
Me and Pong had a little theory on this, where because they have enough to reveal that, we think there could be enough for a whole nother direct. And if that was the case, that would mean why they would limit it to 4 at this one and potentially 4 at the next one as well.
Well, didn't Jez say this one might be bigger than we expect?
Correct.
But then, the Jez is putting a little bit of salt on my
sauce on it.
Yeah. So it's with people that know stuff or have maybe more info starting to say stuff like that.
I mean, if
Yeah,
they're going to release 10 games this year, technically speaking, they could still have 5 here
that's
and
true.
5 at the next show, 4
Yeah.
first party, 1 third party at each of those shows. That's 8, right? So they technically could still do it. Like, I'm just saying, there's a lot of games this year. A fucking lot of games. It's crazy.
Yeah. So all right. So let me get mine out of the way. I think Double Fine also makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, but I don't necessarily think it would just have to be Kiln. Um, that I don't know if that like having that on the thumbnail for like their announcements with a secret project or whatever. I mean, would be something like a Kiln type game because we've seen early like prototype footage of
Yeah.
that game and stuff like that, and it's I'm not saying like hey it's like a little game that they wouldn't do anything with or whatever, but I don't know if that's like a game you would necessarily need to prop up at a specific like dev direct show like this. That's something that could be like a smaller announcement. But like Double Fine's also has multiple projects, right? So it could be Kiln, but I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily. If it's Double Fine, I don't think it's necessarily has to be Kiln. It could be one of these other games. It could be their bigger game. It's been
Psychonauts 3?
that'd be crazy, right? It's been a few years since Psychonauts 2, right?
Game of the year.
Psychonauts 2 was, I believe, 2021.
21, yeah.
So, and we know that they had been working on that for a long time, and I know the only thing is like after Psychonauts 2 came out, they were do interviews with Tim Schafer, and Tim Schafer was like, yeah, right now we're in the prototype phase, we're trying to figure out what games we're gonna make, and that kind of like seemed like it had lasted a while, but I think they're pretty good studio at getting stuff made quickly once they really get their feet under them. And 2 solid years of development, hardcore on a project, I think they could do a lot, right? So if they got the ground running in 2022 at some point on this, right? You're talking about it. That's 3 years if it still launches this year. I think it's plenty of time for them to have another game ready that's not necessarily one of the smaller projects either, right? So, don't know what it is. I like to go out there and throw shit on the wall and just like what's gonna stick, I was having fun with the 11 characters thing. The part of me sees everything they've been doing with Square and sees that they've had the Tokyo Game Show stuff. They had them at the Dev Direct last year, right? They were willing to announce a brand new game last year with Square Enix. They talk about surprise location again. So could it be somewhere in the East, right? And that would lead to Square Enix. And then you announce a brand new Square Enix game, right? And it could be something Final Fantasy. It could be like Pong and I were talking about Final Fantasy Tactics, like 2. Fuck that. I bet the brand new game throws me for a loop on Final Fantasy Tactics, so it's hard to speculate on that because if it's a remake or if it's like a HD 2D, remake typey thing, like does that count, right? What if it's a brand new Dragon Quest or something, or it could be a million different things, right? So Square wouldn't surprise me if it was something brand new from Square Enix. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Double Fine. I think that one makes them like a lot of sense. But then like to throw something crazy out there, something I brought up on PM and the PM last night, that fits the 11 letters was NetherRealm, right? Because Ed Boon had 2 projects in the works, for a while, and we know MK1 came out last year. So what was the other project? We know because of Visions of Mana last year that they're willing to market a game at their Dev Direct that's not necessarily anything more than just a marketing deal, right? Because Visions of Mana launched on Xbox last year, but it's a multi-platform game, wasn't even in Game Pass day and date or anything like that. But maybe say they went to WB and they got marketing rights for whatever this other Ed Boon game was and reveal it for the first time at something like an Xbox Dev Direct. Anything is the thing is there's anything's on the table with this because there's really no set in stone precedent with Dev Directs, right? We have the expectations that we can set based on the fact that they've had 2 shows, which there's been 5 games at the 2 shows, right? There's been 1 surprise at each of the 2 shows. Well, they're already giving us 1 surprise to begin with here. So are we getting 2 surprises? We're getting 1. We know they're willing to show third-party games here, right? We know they're willing to show games that are not releasing the same year. We know that all these things. What we know about the secret game is it is coming out this year, which narrows down a little bit, right? If we add the 11 character thing, we can narrow it down a little bit too. But whatever I think it is, I think it's going to be surprising. I think it's going to be surprising. I think it's going to be awesome because I think that's why they're going ahead and teasing it this way on the thumbnail. Now, don't get mad at me if it's something small that nobody's excited for or whatever. I'm not trying to raise your expectations up to the roof because of my own thinking, right? But if I look at it, I don't know why you would do a smaller announcement and put it like, hey, surprise coming. Because then you're setting people up. Right? You're setting people up like, hey, surprise coming. It's going to be an announcement at this show, a brand new game coming this year. And then if you do announce something that isn't the most exciting thing, then it's like, oh, okay, that was that. Right. Cool. Right. I think you do that if you're excited about what you have to announce and really excited about it. So that's what my thinking is on why they would do that way. And I think whatever the 5th thing is could be something like a smaller thing, right? Like, hey, this is a game coming to Xbox for the first time, like a Final Fantasy 16 or something like that, or hey, here's another game. Hey, surprise, there's 1 more. Then at that time it's like cherry on top. Everything else is great and gravy. So that's what I would speculate on. That's why I think they would do it that way, but who knows? Could be completely wrong. All right.
It makes sense Square would be there. I said this for in another show, but I think Square, them wanting to venture out into other platforms and not just be associated with just Sony going forward. Like they want to be known for being that big third party kind of Bandai Namco type company. It makes sense for them to have a presence here too. But we'll see. They were here last year, so I see them popping up
right on
here for sure.
So this guy in the chat, Droid Master, right? So how many hours do you have in GT7, Fuzzy?
4,037.
Okay. And how many hours do you have in Forza Motorsport so far?
Like 3,700, something like that.
And this person wants to argue with you about fucking racing games.
I know, out of all people,
like you chose the wrong guy, bro. I'm just saying.
Well, he said that GT7 is superior, and I'm like, they both have their flaws. So, and he just said that, oh, well, it feels like you're racing on thin ice, and I'm like, anybody that's played both of them will tell you for fact, GT7 is the one that has that problem. But actual Forza Motorsport, it feels like the car is actually in the track. So if you're familiar with heating up tires, you would know that Forza is the one that's closer to that feel. They even fixed the rumble strips and the little shoulder bumpers on the corners and things like that to actually represent how the tires, when they lose traction and then regain traction, to feel on the track. When it comes to GT7, you always have this twitch loose coming out of corners, especially if the tires are hot or even if they're cold, which you should have it if it's cold, but if the tires are actually warmed up, which they do have a temperature thing in the game, you would know that as soon as you try to make a turn and you add power to it, it's going to wind up giving you a twitch loose type of condition. So even a lot of people from a visual standpoint will tell you, especially if they do the exterior view, but even if you're on the interior view, you get this sensation like you're more so on ice, even when you have heat in the tires. But take it from whoever you want. You can listen to me, or you can listen to somebody that's either never raced in a real car. I've raced Camaros. I've raced my Mustangs at a track in New Jersey. I've raced them at drag strips, raced them on circuit course, ovals. I've done the NASCAR speed things. So it's like, I don't know. I try to be unbiased. Like, you're looking at a guy that was a PS4 main guy until Drive Club. And then that's when I discovered Forza Horizon. So I try to look at him fair. For me, Forza Motorsport, the biggest thing I have an issue with is replayability on setting up custom races. So because you can't do custom paint schemes where you could pick each and every car like you can in GT7, I don't play it as much because I can't replay like an IMSA race or a like the, what do you call it, MX5 Cup type races with the official paint schemes. GT7, I can do that. But then the problem I have with GT7, which it boggles my mind that there isn't a bigger group of people complaining about it, it can't do double file rolling restarts or rolling starts at all. Like, it's either single file or somewhat staggered. Show me one race where that actually happens in real life. Like, every racing series, other than, was it F1 where they start from a stop? And the same thing with like GTP with motorcycles. Everybody else does a rolling start, side by side, close and tight, with no gapping. GT7, you can't possibly do that. You either have to do from a stop or you have to do the single file roll. If you do one of their custom races, you can do the stagger, but that's not like reality. So if it's a superior or perfect sim, they could get the bare essentials right. That's like the worst thing. You can't even start a race right where they start the clock when the first car passes and you don't even get scored until like the following lap. So it's like, there's no way, even in real life, where you could actually beat the leader to the next start finish line and get scored accordingly. And you can't even do that in GT7, but you can do that in Forza. It's a lot harder, especially if you're racing against people that know what they're doing. But in GT7, it's like, it's a broken game in that regard. And that's just one of many things that are broken. And as somebody that likes like newer cars in 2022, sure, they have concept cars. Concept cars have no business in a racing game if it's going to be a sim, because show me where concept cars race in real life. Just saying. But I've rambled enough and given that fool enough attention, so you can stew in his.
That was freaking amazing.
So and the reason I asked you to comment, because you just Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny his ass. Okay. It has posi traction. Yes. It has posi traction. You're like, so anyway, yeah, you just, like I said, you're arguing with the wrong guy. Right. So man, I hope now we get a racing game to talk about. After that, I was like, I feel like I'm playing fucking Forza.
Kind of hyped me up. Like,
right
dang,
now.
I need to start playing some more.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I got a couple super chats to get to here real quick, then we'll get everybody out of here. Let's see, we had a $2 super chat from, geez, my stupid mouse is messing up. Here we go. Danny Passion Official with the $2. Appreciate you, Danny Passion Official, says RTX 50 series announcement made console 20 years old. Yeah, the 5000 series is pretty good. It looks like. I mean, they do have a lower option for like $549. Jasper said not to get that one because it doesn't have enough VRAM in our DMs. They also have like a $749 option for it, right? Then there's a $2,000 option if you go with the 5090. Go balls to the wall. But also, it only runs Black Myth Wukong at 28 frames per second. So you can do it. You can do with that what you want, right? You can do with that what you want. Then also BT Maverick 707. Choo choo motherfuckers hit us with a 5 Fun Speculation memberships. Appreciate you, BT Maverick 707, and congrats to everybody who got a membership in the chat. You guys rock. Choo choo. Okay. But yeah, man. Bobby caught us at the end when we're kind of wrapping up though. Like, do you have any? So I want to real quick. Did you have any thoughts on the whole shenanigans with the rumors and stuff today about Halo and Gears and stuff going other places?
I saw mention that like Gears might be going other places along with like um
So Flight Sim,
Hellblade. Yeah.
Age, Hellblade 2,
I'm
Master Chief Collection.
I don't know.
and-
I feel like the can of worms is opened and nothing would really surprise me. Like I would think that it would be smart from a business sense to keep like the core pillars off the other platforms, but I do have one thing that I feel about Xbox currently because I mean I feel a little bit separated from the conversation in some ways because over time it's just I have my Xbox, but I game on my PC for the most part. And like I even cloud game on my Xbox One still upstairs in my bedroom. Like it's still my preferred platform, but it's just like PC's where it's at for me. And either way, it doesn't like I feel like we're just getting to a point in gaming where it doesn't have as much effect on our core experience. And I trust like the one thing I do feel about everything is I trust what they're trying to do. Like I feel like the vision is coming together and with Game Pass and cloud gaming, is it the way that we all expected or what we might want it to be? No, but like they are making these decisions for a reason. So like I don't know, like any of the games could go over there. I would think if anything, it might be the older Gears of War, or like the Master Chief Collection, things like that that hadn't tapped into like the PlayStation fan base. But hopefully, they keep like the main pillars off of the other platforms for their own strength. But at the same time, like it is what it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was way more than what everyone would want to go over there as well.
Right on, man. Yeah. With you. It's gonna be interesting. Like we see, guys, to see how all this plays out. Man, 2025, we got potentially 10 first party games coming this year, and gonna get potentially another one shown. And then maybe even another dev direct to showcase Outer Worlds 2 later in the year because I'm expecting some kind of a longer breakdown of that at some point.
You know, before we get everybody out of here real quick, first of all, Jez did confirm today too that the Oblivion remake is real, according to him as well. He doesn't think it's gonna be shown here, but it is real. So we got tons of smoke that Oblivion.
Did he say that he thinks it's this year?
Yeah, he thinks it's this
Oh
year.
my god,
So,
dude!
I know. I
Add that.
Can
to
we
the list.
just like okay?
I have no time playing these games.
bro. It's
How?
That's like my most anticipated now. Anyway, so we'll see what it looks like and see what it look. You know what they've done with it. But just real quick, everybody's thoughts. I don't know how the 11 question marks work here, so I've been trying to figure this out. I've been doing some sleuthing and trying to figure out how this would work. Maybe it is a studio outside of first party with the 11 question marks. But what happens if the off-air TV screen
it means something?
is a slight hint?
Yeah, I was thinking that
Well,
too.
there's one game that famously uses something in that vein.
Persona.
No,
Persona does too.
Persona does too. You're right about that. I didn't even think about Persona, but that would fit your Eastern guess to have Persona 6 show up here. Although I think Persona 6 is way too big to do it at a dev direct per se. I would think that's a showcase.
If we did, that would be fucking crazy.
That
If
would
they
be
showed-
That'd be crazy.
Like
Yeah,
Persona 4, maybe.
But to keep it subtle, what happens if it's a new Fallout game that they're going to tease here from somebody?
Yeah.
An in
be
between
crazy.
Fallout game that everybody's wanted. Got the hype of the Fallout show.
Was
They're coming off of that.
Was it in black and white, the screen?
No, it had the color bars.
color
It's
bars too,
it's a
yeah.
stock photo. I looked it up. It's a stock photo. There's an actual stock photo of those exact colors too.
Okay.
in that
I had
exact pattern.
I had
So,
that same thought process though too. So I agree with you on where that's coming from.
The only thing
would
is
just
like Fallout universe, like the TVs are always in black and white.
Mhm.
correct. And I agree that I'm
Yeah.
saying to not be so blatant with
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. Everybody's focused on the 11 question marks, which I think is legit, right? It's probably a
Yeah, yeah.
studio name, just like all the other. But I'm just saying, like the TV, because the other, like it make like okay, if you just look at it, I'm throwing on the tinfoil hat, okay, the conspiracy hat. But if you just look at it, fine, I understand the concept of what they're doing. But if you look at the other layouts, they're not TVs per se. It doesn't, like why is that one a screen that's off air? Like it doesn't look like you're showing the other games on a TV screen, right? But to me, they could be throwing another one in there because just the fact that everybody's been screaming for another Fallout, that nobody can wait as long as they're going to ask everybody to wait for the mainline Fallout franchise. If they are going to capitalize on this hype, why not tease it here as at a direct and tease it? It's not going to be coming out this year, so that would be also a little bit odd, but why not tease it and let everybody know that you are making a Fallout game in the vein of New Vegas to tide everybody over until the new mainline comes out.
Would
Obviously,
that
you're gonna
fit?
have all three
Would that fit
remastered.
more as the 5th announcement?
Maybe. I mean, but well, maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm just reading
yeah.
into it.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
just
Yeah.
weird speculation. Thought I was having some fun, and I just kept looking at that TV screen. I'm like, why the off-air TV screen? Like, I get it, but is it supposed to be just that simple, or are they hinting at something new?
I can picture them doing like they they show the TV screen. It's they whatever it is, like sometimes they have like a silhouette or something, then they reveal what the silhouette is. I could see them doing that with the TV screen and then revealing what the thing could be. But yeah, that's a good guess.
I was looking at it. It started as by looking at the colors because I thought maybe because they said that we're going to take a trip somewhere that maybe they were using like a flag color or something to indicate like where it was going. But then I looked it up and it is a straight up stock photo.
Yeah.
I did find
and I've been looking up development studios and the number 11 just to see what I could find.
We're just having some fun. I think it's fun. So I just wanted to throw it out there because it's cool to do this. That's why I love when they do these kind of things.
Now, Colt did say, there's space on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Everything. But there's also space on the left-hand side, on the left. So the top has a space and the bottom has space next to the TVs. And Jez did say there's more games than we
Well,
think.
no, he didn't say that. He said this could be bigger.
It could be bigger.
Yeah.
So
Bigger than
one of the announcements could be bigger than what we're thinking too, right? It could be like
could be just
massive.
a giant,
Could be a 5th game in there, could be a 6th game in there. Who knows? Just having some fun here, folks. It's just a great time. A lot of people do know it. Again, if anybody wants to hit me up in the DMs that actually knows what game it is, let me know. I won't spoil it for anybody else. I hate Christmas presents. I want to know them all beforehand, but I am glad that everybody's holding their lips sealed right now.
Yeah.
It is going to be a long 2 weeks here. So hopefully nobody gives it away. Again, if you want to do it, you can just tell me and I'll be cool. I won't say anything. Promise.
So just like I was just trying to do some digging or whatever while you're talking. I like where you're going, Pong.
Yeah.
I just randomly threw out Atlas because when you mentioned the TV thing, that's the first thing that popped in my brain was Persona, right? Because if you play the games, you kind of it's a big part of the stories and stuff, right? So, there was an article from Game Rant 11 days ago.
Okay.
That says Persona 6 reveal may be closer than one would think.
Okay. I mean, it'd be a nutso spot to do it, but okay. That would be massive if they are. And Jez and Rand were talking about because Rand is playing Metaphor Refantasio, and he's like, well, maybe I'll hit up because I'm kind of enjoying it. Maybe I'll do Persona after this.
It wouldn't work with the 11 characters though.
No,
right?
It wouldn't.
So
that's the only thing is that 11 throws it all off, unless again that's the throw off part.
Exactly.
Unless that is they did that on purpose to get everybody focused.
They really got us fucked up out here, man.
Unless it's Atlas in Japan.
What about Sega Atlas?
No, it wouldn't work either. Yeah, ATLUS.
Oh yeah, because Atlas is
Fallout is
Atlas in Japan's 12. That's a very far fetched. Reaching right now. It could be something small, could be something big. I like to always speculate on like what the craziest scenarios are.
It's just fun, man.
I think it'll be surprising. Whatever it is.
As long as it doesn't get spoiled, man. And a lot of people seem to know. So
I think it'll probably get spoiled.
Yeah, probably a day before.
Probably.
They'll wait till the morning of. Let's spoil it.
Although people have been pretty good recently.
Lately, I was gonna
Yeah, because
say.
They've been
Blade
pretty-
Blade didn't really leak like you would expect, but as many people that knew.
Well, yeah, but it did go around the community.
Right around, but yeah, and
But it was right around that
the
time.
mind
yeah.
games you guys were playing with me that day.
It was just fun. The guessing game that you went through with me, like everything but that. And then you
Yeah.
finally hit on it. I was like, Jesus, yes. Good times.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
Or that
That's
math
gonna be funny.
equation somebody gave us to do to try to figure out our game. I'm not going to mention any names, but I remember.
Math
Totally
equation.
remember.
Oh
Remember.
yeah,
Epic
yeah,
farm
yeah, yeah.
memories.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that. Thanks, 3-bit.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, yeah,
I was said no names.
3-bit,
What?
3-bit, 3-bit, 3-bit. I'll say
David
it.
does everything. Jesus.
But yeah, this was a fun show, guys. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I still don't know if it was real that all the people in the chat actually got the fucking code or not earlier.
Yeah, I got one too.
I got it while I was driving home.
I'm still clueless. I don't know what's actually happening. But thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. It was fun. It was fun having a bigger group again for the first time in a while on XUP, because it kind of brings a flavor of what the show started as and what it was kind of all about. But thanks guys for being here. Appreciate you all. PTK Blam, dude. I don't know when shop's coming back. I don't know when, but
I've done some soul searching, bro. I was in the mountains, all kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll tell you,
Did you find some mushrooms?
I miss it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
No.
But thank you so much for being here tonight and rocking with us on some fun speculation, and tell everybody about you and where they can find you.
Yeah, man. It's got to be back, man. First and foremost, glad to be back with the family. Appreciate you for sending out the bat signal. You know what I mean? Reciprocating that love, Mav. I appreciate you. And forget about your boy. Thank you, sir. And I needed it tonight, so you must have been feeling me. So I appreciate that.
Like,
but shout out to
channeling PTK Blam the energy. Yeah, let's get him over here.
Facts, man. But all my brothers here on the panel as well, too, for coming through as well. But yeah, you guys follow me, PTK Blam. That's, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it at this point in time. Obviously YouTube as well too. The Shop Podcast is coming back as well too. Like I said, I had to do some soul searching, had a lot going on, but I'm good to go at this point in time. So we'll be back very soon. I'm making some schedule changes to make it a lot easier for my guys. I keep moving things around, so I don't want to keep doing that. So I'm gonna try and make it easy for my fellas, my brothers Pong and Fuzz. But outside of that, man, I appreciate all you guys here for hanging out with us. This really did feel like an old, Fun Speculation podcast, really like the old one. So really, really good time, though. But yeah, thank you, Mav. Appreciate you, brother. More than you know, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you as always, dude. Game Pass Dad, dude. Thanks for hopping in, man. Anytime, like even if it's like the last 5 minutes of a show, and you're like, we're doing the outros, slide in.
I'll have to make it a segment whenever I can make it down.
No, I appreciate you being here, man. For sure.
Yeah, anytime I get home from I don't have comedy every week, but anytime I'm home and I don't pass out before the show starts, I always try and hop in. So I'm glad I could make it. Definitely always good to hang out with you fellows, and especially on a night when Blam's also here. Yeah, it's good to see you guys. Game Pass out and everything, making tons of Delta Force content on YouTube, and it's going pretty good, pushing 2,000 right now. So if you guys think that's up your alley, check it out, and thank you guys for having me.
Delta Force, you feeling it? Like, because I remember when
it's
it's
really good.
It is good.
I've got I don't know, I've been making a bunch of videos mainly about upcoming stuff from the Chinese version, and cosmetics have been doing the best for me, but I've got a big impressions video that I'm outlining and everything right now. But overall, it's if you like the Battlefield, if you like Battlefield large scale warfare games, it's got that. If you like extraction, hardcore shooter games, it's got that with quality of life improvements from an Escape from Tarkov. The game runs really well, and the developers are very passionate about listening to the community and shaping the game along with the community. And it's also in beta early access, which some of the best games that we have right now went through that development cycle, thinking Fortnite or Baldur's Gate, they didn't come out and just release the full game and say, here you are. And we haven't had a Battlefield game that really worked the first week in ever.
Yeah.
So it runs more smoothly. It does have crazy gotcha mechanic microtransactions, but the game is free. It's made by Tencent, so I mean, if you look at like Valorant, you don't like you play Valorant because it's a good game. You don't have to put money into it if you don't want to, but it also has a lot of crazy expensive microtransactions. But this is the same thing, and my main sentiment about it that I've been mulling over is that it's like a great game with like a really convoluted microtransaction like storefront attached to it instead of like some of the games that we're getting from like EA or Activision or any of the other AAAs where it's a convoluted storefront with a so-so game attached to it. So it's like I'm already like I played about 200 hours of the alpha between September and October, and I was a big like Battlefield kid back in the day, like coming up in my gaming experience. When I wasn't playing Halo, Battlefield was one of the main ones, Rainbow Six. I've got 300 hours since the beta launched on
Wow.
on December 5th, so I've been enjoying it quite a bit.
Yeah, I would
And
say so.
it's set to come to consoles sometime in the next couple of months here. They just delayed the mobile release until summer, but I do feel like there's a lot of potential. It's held like 100,000 concurrents on Steam, and that's one of the only out of three. Like you can get it on Epic, you can get it on Steam, or you can download it from their platform. So that's not even the full picture of who's playing. But I do feel like with the way, like the state that like Battlefield games are in right now, like 2042 finally got to a good place, but so many people are fed up with it. Like I've tried to go back and play it multiple times, just can't get in that groove. And Call of Duty is also not in the best place right now, and like DMZ is another similar thing. So I do feel like when this comes to console, it could be a pretty big moment for this game. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a go. I'll like I need controllers, so whenever
Right.
that happens,
Well,
like I'll be
there
I'll be
are
getting it.
there are emulators that you can use, but I mean they have some pretty hardcore anti-cheat, so it might be best to wait. But
Yeah.
I have friends that have done that and mapped their own controls, but it's not ideal. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it has a lot of potential. And coming into this, like the first time I saw it was during the Xbox Direct when we were all I don't know if I was watching with you or watching you guys watch it. But basically, like that was the first time I saw it, and I was like, this looks kind of corny. And then I saw them, like I saw when it came out in alpha, streamers playing the um extraction mode, and I was like, holy cow, that looks like a lot of fun, because I always want to get into Tarkov also, but I never really stuck with it because it's so hardcore. But this has a lower barrier to entry, but also like I'm getting owned in it like
Right on.
70% of the time, like not making it out, but still having a lot of fun with it. So it's kind of like Tarkov with quality of life improvements, or like a little bit more tactical version of DMZ. So it's a lot of fun.
If you want to check out the Delta Force master, it sounds like go check out Game Pass Dad. I'm looking forward to playing it. There is actually people that keep saying there's some rumor that there's 2025 is also a Battlefield game coming. So
Yeah, I've heard that mulling about, but I mean,
yeah,
if this game, if they keep going at the rate they're going, because there's been tons of content, like yeah, they have a lot of like microtransactions and everything, but it's like the game has been in beta since the 4th. It's been in development for a long time before that. And it's like getting into it, like when I saw the trailer first, like back in over the summer, I was like, that looks kind of corny. I don't know if I like that. But like actually getting into it and playing it, like it plays really well. The gunplay is really good. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable experience. And I feel that if Battlefield is coming out this year, like obviously people are going to go try it out, but they're going to have a really good game, or else if they go through the same issues that they had in like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 2042 with just absolute net code like and like unplayable glitches, like people are going to come back to Delta Force. So that's like I just feel
yeah,
like when it
that's
hits console, if they do it right, it's got a lot of potential.
competition's good.
Mhm.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Fuzzy Belvedere, where can
Yeah,
people
thank you.
find you, sir?
Oh, yeah, this was an awesome time with you guys. Love hanging out. So glad we got the family all together and we're able to talk games. And despite having a troll or two in the chat, This was still an awesome time. Looking forward to 2025 game releases, and man, this is probably the best I've had, or best time I've had with gaming in a long time. So glad to be here with you guys for it. For all those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just do a search on any social media except for Facebook or Fuzzy_Belvedere or just Fuzzy Belvedere. You'll be able to find me. But man, we got to do this some more often.
Right on, Fuzz. Appreciate it, man. And 3-Bit, thanks for being here tonight, bro. Appreciate you as always. Even though you ruin things at times in the industry, you never ruin this show. It's always a bonus when you're here.
Yes. No, this was a great show. In terms of what I've been up to, you guys can check me out with Pixelated Echoes every Sunday. I've been playing Top Spin, and me and that game have beef, which I've explained on FSP, because that game is absolutely broken, and whoever designed it needs to go kick all the rocks in the world.
You want them to all be laid off? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
This
yeah,
is what
all-
happens. He complains. Next thing we know, Take-Two Interactive has layoffs at Top Spin developer.
Yeah, this is awful. But yeah, you guys can find me on Pixelated Echoes every Sunday, and on FSP on Monday. I had to drop by. It's been a minute. It's a snow day. Had to drop on by for the Friday show, and I missed podcasting with you fellas, so definitely had to jump on in. Fuzz, that was an amazing rant of cars. I really enjoyed that as well. Just thought I would say that. You guys can find me on Blue Sky, and that's about it. So I'll see you guys.
Thanks, 3-Bit. And the one and only Psychonauts. Thanks for being here, Psycho.
Thanks for having me, everybody. It's great to be back. I know it's been a while since I been on the show, so it's great to be talking and hanging out with my family. So great to be here. And yeah, everybody, follow me on Twitter or X, however you name it or call it or whatever. That's where I am. And been playing nothing but RPGs. So it's work.
Like
and
ASMR.
oh, is it?
I've been playing
Thank you,
RPG.
everybody. I've been playing RPGs and it's been a really good time.
Like long walks on the beach and mushrooms.
And yes, mushrooms.
Also,
All right, guys.
long walks on the beach while on mushrooms.
I like
Yes.
RPGs with all those anime girls. Thanks, Psycho. Appreciate you being here, man.
Anti for life.
And the one and only encyclopedia of gaming dating back to the very first game ever created, who is now going to own a hat that says
I
so. Pong Soul.
Yes. This was fantastic. It was really good to have another nice giant panel and to have the family back together again. A lot of the family, like, this is special, man. And I love getting the different opinions in here when we can, but just hearing your voices, and even like you said, Mav, Game Pass jumping in here just for the end of the show, like, appreciate that so much, Bob, because we miss everybody's energy from top to bottom. Like, we all have a good time. It doesn't matter if there's 2 of us, 3 of us, or if there's 6 or 7 of us. We always have a great time, but man, energy's different when you get the rest of the crew in here, man. And so this was a nice, wonderful Friday night. And chat, thank you all for being here. And again, even the trolls that come through, again, it's interesting the trolls have decided to come back out for the new year, and a lot of people's chats, by the way. It's really interesting.
Love it. I love the new names, and we just talk shit about Xbox the whole time.
So,
it's so great.
It's weird because Xbox is already dead. I mean, it's like they're already dead, but they want to still come in and talk about it. So, like, that's cool,
God.
man.
Rand's rant about the guy that was in his chat earlier on Xbox 2 was
beautiful.
Amazing.
It was beautiful, but it's true. It's always been true, but it's even more true now. That means that Xbox is doing something. That means they've got people's attention, because to come back out here again, you guys are excited, man, because you guys got games coming, because Xbox is making games, and there's a shot that those games are going to come to your system now. So now you guys are kind of excited, right? So again, can't wait for you guys to try all this stuff out. But no, chat, you guys were amazing. Everybody that comes out and supports us each and every single week. We're back. 2025 is rolling. Gaming is out of control right now with just the amount of games. So thank you for coming out here and talking. The chats have been extremely lively, even discrediting the trolls that come out. Like, just you guys are so passionate too, and you guys are feeling the excitement. There's so much to play. Man, this is going to be one hell of a year. So thank you all for joining us tonight. You guys know how to find me, Pongso, everywhere, X, formerly known as Twitter, Xbox, Steam, GOG, Epic, you know it. Follow me, I'll follow you back. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, set the alarm, set the reminder. Steel, Rain, and I will be back 3+ hours tomorrow morning. Take you from your morning to your afternoon to your evening, depending on where you are in the world. So join us. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, living split screen. Split screen's all one word, live, raw, and uncut. And Steel and I are going to have some interesting conversations tomorrow. So it's going to be fun, man. We're going to talk about this stuff because Steel's excited. Halo and Gears could be going elsewhere. So this is going to be fun. Join us there. And then, again, like I've been saying, and we've heard it from the man directly tonight. Keep your eyes and ears open for the return of the Shop podcast. We will let you know. We will let you know. As I've been telling you all, we're just on hiatus. I told you PTK had not made any formal decisions. Well, you heard it from his mouth tonight. We're going to be back.
I didn't know he was getting that kind of heat. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm not. I got to let everybody know. They wonder, PTK, man. They wonder, man, what they're going to do with their Saturday nights. I had to let them know. Yeah. So, but keep your eyes and ears open for that. And then otherwise, next week it starts all over again. Tuesdays, got to shout out the man. I heard Boom a little bit this morning. I actually tuned into him on my way into work because I had a late start to today, which is abnormal. And he was shouting us out, Mav. He was listening to PM and the PM last night. So he was giving us some shout outs. I always shout out Boom because of how much he's done for a lot of us in this community. So Double Barrel Games channel, Boom Sticks the Man, 5 days a week, but Tuesdays, all good things green. The Xbox Factor podcast, be there, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time for that. Otherwise, my week starts right back here next Thursday, PM in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time for Pong and Mav in the PM. Otherwise, it's a golden age of gaming, people. So please, no matter how you feel about everything else, get out there and play what you love. Love what you play. And I'm going to talk to you all real soon. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Thanks, Pong. Hey, audio listeners, appreciate you all. Hey, leave a review on your favorite audio platform. It greatly helps people find us. If you liked watching here, hanging out in the chat, I should say all this at the beginning of the show, but I never do. But hit the like button, share, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff greatly helps us and helps people find us as well. Chat, you rock. We'll be back here for Monday, FSP, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week, Thursday, PM in the PM. Fridays, Xbox Ultimate. Also, you might see a couple streams this weekend. If people keep acting a fool, maybe you'll see a Mavcast or something this weekend as well. You never know. But stay tuned. And thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate you. Peace. Good night.
Peace.
Later.